Well, well, well. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Let's talk facts. This is just going to be part one of our show today. Of course, we're going to come back this evening, and we're going to get down to the nuts and bolts of how can the Dallas Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And if the Cowboys are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, there is no better chance, because I can tell you right now, come their second game in Philly, which by that time I'm sure A.J. will be back and healthy. Devontae Smith, it has some ailments. He'll probably be healthy. Jalen Hurts, he'll probably be healthy. So if they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, they better beat them now while they're down. But the problem is we're down too. I mean, we're injured too. So what do? So I'm going to talk a lot about that this evening. But what I want to get into first is there's quite a bit of news going around on X, man. If y'all not on X, man, get on X. I mean, follow me on X. I mean, X is a whole different universe. It's the most different social media platform out there, because people can basically say whatever they want to say on there, and there are so many people reporting on there. There's a lot of things that you can see, but I think we may look at this while we're on this morning, because it's going to be more about news today. I think we may look at this issue of there are people demanding that the Dallas Cowboys not be the team to play on Thanksgiving. I mean, come on, man. This is crazy. There's nothing pretty much the NFL can do about getting the Dallas Cowboys off of Thanksgiving. Tex Schramm solidified that long before Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is keeping it going all the way. So there is nothing anybody can do about getting the Dallas Cowboys off of Thanksgiving Day. But Jerry Jones is where I want to focus this session that we're going to do. Jerry Jones spills all the beans about the Dallas Cowboys. And this is one of the problems I kind of have with Jerry Jones sometimes. I just think he does a little too much. He just does a little too much talking. Let me say hello to everybody. What's going on, everybody? Spider-Man, what's going on? Nisi, Jay Recruiter, Andre, what's going on? What's going on, Robert? Good to see y'all here today. I appreciate the continued support for the channel. We're going to talk about Jerry Jones spilling all the beans on 105.3 The Fan. I mean, man, Jerry Jones just talks Jerry Jones will almost give your game plan away for the week. And I think, no doubt about it, the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions, they're going to play on Thanksgiving. No matter what anyone says, they're going to play on, and it wouldn't even be Thanksgiving. And I ain't going to say it wouldn't be Thanksgiving, but it definitely wouldn't seem right if the Dallas Cowboys were not playing football on Thanksgiving. And we don't care if they're 1-15. We want to see the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. And so Jerry Jones, I mean, he does so much talking. I mean, if you were going to have a strategy on how to beat a team, you can forget about your strategy with Jerry Jones. He's going to give the other team your entire strategy. He's going to give the team your entire strategy. What's going on, Gene? So we're about to look at this interview, and we're going to stop here and there. We're not going to play it all the way through without pausing it, but we're going to play it all the way through, and we're going to just break down piece by piece everything that Jerry Jones is saying, because I listened to some of it this morning, and I said, man, this would be something great to share with the community, because, man, Jerry Jones is on here just, man, this dude's saying way too much. But hey, it's good for us, I guess. You know, we can kind of hear what he's thinking. But let's get into this. Let's hear Jerry Jones this morning on 105.3 The Fan.
General Manager Jerry.
Around.
Good morning, sir.
I think we get a couple of 4s. All right? Bye-bye.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear us?
Okay, great. Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. Fantastic.
All right. Sorry, guys. Let me get this hearing aid in. Good morning.
Sounded, Jerry, like you said we can get a couple of 4s. Is that draft picks you're talking about there?
Oh.
Hey, well, I actually was talking draft picks, but I was on my other handheld phone. So, but you did catch me there.
Okay. Now, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, for good reason, about Dak Prescott and his injury. There's been concern about the hamstring actually potentially ripping off the bone and talk of season-ending surgery. Can you give us any insight as to if that is a possibility and if IR is a guarantee now?
It's a blurred area. There's no question the injury is there, and the question is will it require surgery? That's all opinions, and of course the ambiguity here is, first of all, it's going to take him one way or the other. He's got to have some weeks off of it before he could see if it really does require surgery. And so he doesn't want surgery. He wants to be on the field and go for it. And so he's weighing that. We're weighing that. And we'll just see how it goes here.
So it really does come down to, in a couple of weeks, reevaluating that part of the process.
It could be. The faster we make this decision, the quicker we get the clock running if we IR'd him. And, of course, the facts are we don't have to IR him at all, but that keeps us from bringing a player up to the active roster. But I'll weigh whether or not it's worth not having that player on the roster while we let this play out.
Okay, so let's get to our first point, Dak Prescott. I'm not a betting man. Of course I'm not a betting man. But I got a strange feeling. Dak Prescott is not going on injury reserve. Because I thought it was strange when they first said Dak Prescott was going on injury reserve. See, Jerry Jones is the one who put that out there. And that's why James Jones, he jumped so quick because he thinks that Dak Prescott is on injury reserve. He doesn't even get the whole story of what's going on with Dak Prescott because people want to be so quick to be the first one to say something or say something salacious out there that they want the clicks, they want the views, they want all those things. And this is why true journalism has gone out the window. Because to me, it makes me wonder, why couldn't James Jones just pick up the phone and call Mike McCarthy if they got this great relationship? I mean, he didn't have to get Mike McCarthy to divulge any secrets of the Dallas Cowboys. He could have just asked him a simple question. Okay, is Dak Prescott going on injury reserve? That's all he had to ask him. Nothing more, nothing less. So Jerry Jones should have kept his mouth closed until the decision was made for Dak Prescott to go on injury reserve. Because now, with everything that's going on, and this is why I don't know Dak Prescott personally. I'm sorry, but I've just watched him from afar. The last thing that Dak Prescott is a quitter, because Dak Prescott said something very key. Let me tell y'all something about Dak Prescott's career you may not know. Dak Prescott has always been an overachiever. No one, from what my understanding is, they've never necessarily looked at Dak Prescott and said he's an elite quarterback until he starts playing. Once Dak starts playing, all of a sudden everything changes. In high school, if I'm not mistaken, the story is told. The high school quarterback in front of Dak Prescott, he got hurt. Dak came in, took his spot. He never saw the field again. In college, if I'm not mistaken, a similar type situation. Dak Prescott hits the field. He never sees the field again. Tony Romo gets hurt. Dak Prescott puts on a display at the Senior Bowl, puts on a display in preseason. We never see Tony Romo again. And so Dak Prescott has a mentality of he doesn't believe that if you get hurt, if possible, you don't stop playing. Because even though Dak Prescott's position is secure now, Dak Prescott also doesn't believe in allowing other people to get the leadership role on the team. And so Dak Prescott doesn't want to go on injured reserve because there are rules that come along with injured reserve. There's only so much you can do with the team if you're on injured reserve. And so Dak Prescott, I was confused when they said Dak Prescott, because I had said that Monday, there's no way Dak Prescott's going on injured reserve. And then they announced on Tuesday, Dak's going on injured reserve. No, Jerry Jones announced that Dak Prescott was going on injured reserve. But Dak Prescott, if you'll listen to what Jerry just said, Dak Prescott is refusing to go on injured reserve. And so you're here, notice what Jerry Jones is saying. Jerry Jones is saying that the quicker we get Dak on IR, the quicker we can get him back. But Dak Prescott is saying, no, I'm not worried about going on injured reserve because I'm not going on injured reserve. That's what Dak Prescott is talking about. And so I don't understand why. And see, Jerry is the reason why James Jones came out with that story so fast. And I still fought James Jones because I don't understand why he didn't do enough research. So we're watching a battle, and I don't think it's a battle. I think it's already over. Dak Prescott's not going on injured reserve, y'all. He's not going on injured reserve. Dak Prescott is going to try and play this season. He is. What's going on, Freddie? He's going to try to play this season. There's no other way to get around it. Nisi says, if I were Dak, I would pull a Romo and hold a press conference and say I'm going home. He's not going to do it. Dak's not going to do it. I'm telling y'all, unless Dak gets the most, devastating news, Dak Prescott is not going on injured reserve. He's not going on injured reserve. He's just not. And so, and I don't even think it depends on whether or not the Cowboys win. I don't even think Dak cares if they win or lose the next 4 games. Dak Prescott is going to play football again this year. You can book it. I don't care if they don't win another game. The one thing that I know and the one thing I like about Dak Prescott is going to go down with the ship. Dak is going down with the ship. And so James Jones is not even being honest. He's not even being honest. Because even the "we suck" comment, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do an extensive video on it later on today. Ben DiNucci, of all people, Ben DiNucci, without even not even mentioning James Jones, Ben DiNucci destroys James Jones. Because Ben DiNucci is going to tell you the same thing I told you. I didn't even play at the collegiate level. But anybody who's ever played organized sports and you're getting your brains beat out, you're on a 2-game or 3-game losing streak, and you get to certain points in a game that you just say, man, we suck. What's wrong with it? I guarantee you almost every player in their career has said that. Troy Aikman said it. Tom Brady, I promise you, Tom Brady has said it on the sideline. Players say this stuff, but this social media era and how the NFL, they always got cameras. I watched the game last night with the Baltimore Ravens. They always got cameras in all the players' face. Every time they get hurt, every time there's a play, they make the wrong play, they make the right play. Someone scores. They want to see what the reactions are because football is the biggest drama on television. That's why today, when I talk about it, you know, anybody knows when I do my game previews, I always talk about the storylines. What's the drama? What's the stuff going on in the background? What are the things outside of the lines that will compel people to play harder and win? What are those things? And so the Jerry Jones, the Dak Prescott thing, I'm telling you, I am not going to be surprised. Dak Prescott is playing on Thanksgiving Day. I'm not going to be surprised. I am not going to be surprised if Dak Prescott is playing on Thanksgiving Day. B-Lane, you know, I'm going to have to start. I'm going to make sure I'm going to have to block people like you because I was watching a podcast today, and when people like you start saying things like what you're saying, you don't understand what kind of person I am. I'm just going to tell you up front, I don't play that type stuff. You're going to have to go somewhere else and play. This is a grown man right here, sir. I'm a man of God. I don't play that stuff. I don't even know how old you are, but you take that nonsense somewhere else. I saw a guy who's been on this stream before. His name is Cam Chillin. And I'm waiting on Cam Chillin to come back too. This man said today, I watched on a podcast, that Dak Prescott needs to split his foot again. What kind of human beings say stuff like this? This is the problem with social media. I can tell you up front, I'm just not down for the games. I can go along. I'm not going along with, but I can endure if someone's saying that Dak Prescott isn't this and Dak Prescott isn't that. Okay, I can endure. That's your opinion. But when you start saying dumb stuff, because I saw that video, and if you could have survived that fight, getting hit in the face with a bottle, if you could have survived that fight, well, you know what? Great for you. But I think when someone survives that and now they're a $231 million quarterback in the league and you're just some person on social media trying to down them, when I'm sure they're doing better than you in life because you wouldn't be on here talking. Surely you should have more class than that, sir. Sir, ma'am, whatever you are. You should have more class than that.
No one believed it at first, but
it is classless to say things like that. I don't understand people like you. And I can't see you right now because I'm online. But I promise you, when I can find you on here, you don't have to worry about being on this channel again, sir. I don't deal with stuff like that. I don't know what's going on with this new community, this new social media age. But y'all can take that stuff somewhere else. I'm not playing those kind of comments. That's downright disgusting. Okay, I got you now. All right. We won't have to deal with that stuff no more. I'm not playing that. That kind of talk right there. You want to talk, people want to talk football with me? I'll talk football with you all day long. I'm not going to sit here and listen to anybody say things about players like they should die or something should happen bad to them or they should get injured. That is downright stupid stuff. It's inhumane. This social media age, y'all, I'm telling you, it's inhumane. It is. It is. And it's crazy. But you know, they can take that to other channels. We talk Cowboys, we talk facts here. It ain't about being salty or any of those things. We're not playing that stuff here. And I'm telling you, I ain't going to say I can't wait. The Bible says be anxious for nothing. But the next time I see Cam chilling on here, he done here. That's crazy talk. That stuff is absolutely crazy talk. Let's get back on task. But Dak Prescott, man, I'm telling you, Dak Prescott is not going to give in. And Jay Recruiter, you just hit it right on the head. Jay Recruiter, I was looking at something that is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy when you think about it. And I know this may sound, this is going to sound a little bit crazy with the way the Dallas Cowboys season has been going. The way their season has been going. But let me see if I can find this here. And then we're going to get back to this. We'll get back to this whole thing with, we'll get back to this whole thing with Jerry Jones. But I really want to stop for a moment and deal with what he said about Dak Prescott. Because this is crazy in the grand scheme of things if you think about this. I couldn't believe this when I saw this the other day. Okay, let's see what we got here. I want y'all to see something as you look at the NFL playoff picture. Are y'all ready to have your minds absolutely blown? Look at this. I want you to see where the Dallas Cowboys are. The Dallas Cowboys are in the 13th spot in the playoffs. And I want you to look at who's ahead of them. The Seahawks, the Bucks, the Rams, the 49ers, the Bears, the Green Bay Packers. So you see a huge drop-off after the Green Bay Packers. So these are the 7 teams that we got in the playoffs. NFC. And if you think about this, the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals are a division leader. So as long as they win their division, they're in. But you got to look at something. They're also 5-4. They get knocked out of the first spot in that division, they're going to fall down. And if you're ahead of them record-wise, you're going to go above them. You got the Vikings. Now, this fighting with the Vikings, their division, boy, that's a crazy fight right there. That is an absolute crazy fight. So the Vikings, if they just keep kind of winning, they're going to be in there regardless. But when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they're in our division. And we know, we don't really know what our division is going to look like. We don't really know what our division is going to look like because right now the Eagles are 6-2, the Commanders are 7-2, but we don't really know what they're going to look like going down the stretch because I think their schedule gets a little harder as they go down the stretch, and I'm thinking ours gets a little easier. But I'm saying all that to say, you may think this sounds crazy, but the Cowboys are in the 13th spot, and I think what is being thought of here is if we can just get a win first. If the Cowboys can get a win, we have to understand that just one win, and depending upon what happens this weekend, the Cowboys could literally go from 13 to possibly number 8, 9, or 10. 8, 9, or 10. And then, the Houston Texans game, everyone else has to play too. I'm just not giving the Cowboys any chance in the Houston Texans game. But if they can beat the New York Giants, that's another win. And if you can start a match, you get the 5 and let's say you get the 5-5. You get the 5-6. 5 games to go. Dak Prescott can come back. And then you can go on some type of run to where maybe you don't get 10-6. You get 9-7. You get 9-7. What if you get 9-7? You never know what's going to happen at 9-7. You never know. I'm telling you. So there's a reason why Dak Prescott is not giving up on this season, y'all. Dak Prescott is smelling blood in the water. And watch this. Watch this. Let me tell you something else got Dak Prescott excited. Y'all know what else got Dak Prescott excited? Dak Prescott is excited about Jonathan Mingo. Dak Prescott's excited, y'all. Dak Prescott is excited. We watched Jonathan Mingo, thanks to Andre Mosley yesterday, turning us on to his interview. And the first thing that C.D. Lamb said about Jonathan Mingo is he's a large human being. That's what C.D. Lamb's first impression was. Because I'm telling y'all got to realize something. C.D. Lamb is not a short wide receiver, but he's a slender wide receiver. He's put on some muscle this year. And I'm pretty sure going as he gets older, he's going to get a little bit more muscle, a little bit more bigger. He's going to start looking a little bit more menacing. But this Jonathan Mingo kid, I never had anything against the Cowboys getting him. But what I did have a problem with is they gave up a 4th-round draft pick, and I think Carolina would have gave him away for a 5th, a 6th, or a 7th. But guess what? He's here now. We ain't crying over spilled milk, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to the family, Jonathan Mingo. I want you to see a picture of this guy. Jonathan Mingo looks like he's going to be playing this week. The Cowboys already got him coming in. I want you to look at this guy. This is a wide receiver. And y'all already know, as I call myself this from time to time, the Black Kyle Shanahan. I wouldn't take a wide receiver that's less than 6'2". And if he's 6'1", he better be super stud, top-ranked wide receiver in college football. But other than that, I'm going 6'2" and above, and definitely 220, 215, 220 is exactly what you want as a wide receiver. I want you to look at this. This is no pads. Look at how big this guy is. This is a wide receiver? This is crazy. This is literally crazy how big this kid is. Jonathan Mingo is menacing. When this kid right here, if you're a cornerback and you're 5'11", 195, you're 6 foot, 190, and this kid lines up across from you, this ain't C.D. Lamb, y'all. This ain't C.D. Lamb right here. This ain't somebody you just gonna knock off the mark fast. This is not C.D. Lamb. This kid is a giant, man. If this kid can pan out, if he can pan out, he can make a difference. I don't know in the Philadelphia game just yet, but down the line in this season with Dak Prescott, this kid gonna make a difference, man. This kid gonna make a difference. I promise y'all. Dak right now, Dak's already talking to this dude. Dak's already talking to him. Dak's already taking him under his wing. Dak is ready to get to work with this kid. And I promise you, the moment Dak Prescott hits the field, you're going to see a full dose of Jonathan Mingo the same way you did when Amari Cooper hit the field when C.D. Lamb was on the field. Dak Prescott started going to Amari Cooper, and they were 3-5, and the whole season changed. I'm telling y'all, Dak Prescott is salivating right now. Dak Prescott is literally, see, Dak Prescott's a different kind of dude. Dak Prescott is rooting for Cooper Rush. Dak doesn't care what the media say. He's not worried about what people are thinking. Dak is saying, I want Cooper Rush to win. And if he can win the next 2 games, I'm back on Thanksgiving. I'm telling y'all, I'm not going to be shocked Dak Prescott is going to play on Thanksgiving Day. Spider-Man says even if Dak can't play, he will be on the sideline supporting the team. Well, Cooper Rush already said it. Cooper Rush said, Dak, still in the meeting rooms, helping him prepare for the game, helping other players get ready, prepare for the game. Dak Prescott all over the building. Dak Prescott is putting his fingerprint all over this team, and he continues to keep his fingerprint on it. That's who Dak is. Team player, yes. Quitter, no. I'm telling us, Dak is going to play this season again, and I think it's sooner than later. Good time. Win Dallas. Play on Thanksgiving Day. I'm telling you. Watch what I'm telling y'all. If Dak Prescott announces he's playing on Thanksgiving Day, the NFL is literally, the Dallas Cowboys are going to break the record for the most watched football game, not only of the season, but on Thanksgiving Day. Y'all want to know why Jerry Jones, they can say anything they want to. Jerry Jones may have disrespected Dak Prescott over and over and over, but he can't help but love Dak Prescott. You cannot help but love Dak Prescott. There is a reason why. Sports Junkie said the same thing I said before. There is a reason why. Tell me anything you want to. This franchise, when Dak Prescott took over, was worth $3 or $4 billion. This franchise is worth $10 billion now. And it's going to be worth more than that next year. And the next year. And the next year. You know why? Because Dak Prescott is the quarterback. And he's always going to be in everybody's mouth. They're always going to be talking to him. He's always going to defy the odds. He's always going to overcome. He's always going to exceed all of their expectations. I'm telling you, Dak's going to get a Super Bowl within this next 4-year contract. You can book it. Dak's going to get a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones wants the Trey Lance, Dak Prescott drama leading the next season. Oh, it won't be no drama going into next season, Greg. There won't be no drama. Trey Lance is not going to be with the Dallas Cowboys. Unless absolutely nobody wants Trey Lance, he's not going to be with the Dallas Cowboys. Somebody else is going to pick up Trey Lance. They are. Trey Lance is not going to be the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys unless no one absolutely wants him. But we're going to get into this as we continue in this Jerry Jones interview because Trey Lance is going to be on the field while Dak Prescott is no longer playing. And I got a strange feeling, even with Dak Prescott playing, if these Trey Lance packages work out and with Dak trying to get his leg back together, you're still going to see some Trey Lance in some form or another. And so if Jerry allows Trey Lance to get on that field, and Trey Lance, and he is going to get on there, and Trey Lance makes a difference, I can promise you this. Trey Lance is going to go to another team because Trey Lance is pretty good. You open it up to freedom of speech and you keep it moving. Just a suggestion. No, I'm not going to do that, Delt. I'll deal with all of the negative. I will not deal with people who are saying things like people should get hurt and this, that. No, I won't deal with that here. I mean, I'm sorry. I got a day job. I just won't have followers or listeners. But what I will not do is I will not tolerate on this platform people saying things like players should go jump off of a bridge or they should die or split a leg again. No, that's too far for me. And that stuff that whatever J Bell or Bell or whatever his name, that's too far for me. I can't deal with that. Andre says that's why Dak Prescott, the Cowboys are going to get a ring when they get it together because of all these things. I believe so too. I think it's the adversity that is finally going to get them going. Dak is going to be because what? Oh yeah, I'm telling you, Dak gonna be in this thing, but he gonna sit down the next couple of weeks. I just wish Dak would get pissed and call his lawyers for those fools for defamation of character. He ain't gonna do it. Dak has too much character. He's just not going to do it. And Dak doesn't want to bring them any more attention because I promise you, that show, you know why they did what they did? See, everybody thinks that time slot failed because of Skip Bayless. That time slot isn't failing because of Skip Bayless. That time slot is a hard time slot because it's going up against First Take, Stephen A. Smith. Now they got Cam Newton on there. They continue to surround people, surround Stephen A. Smith with all of these different personalities. And ESPN, people do not understand this. You got to understand how things work in the background. ESPN is in way more homes than FS1. FS1 is really an afterthought when it comes to what they were trying to do and what they're attempting to do. That's not really their bread and butter. I mean, soccer and stuff like that is really their bread and butter. But they had a guy, I forgot the Jamie Horowitz guy maybe. He came over from ESPN, and he was kind of the architect of some of that stuff, some of those shows. So when he comes over, then he starts trying to put some of those same shows at FS1. And the problem is the time slot. And the worst thing they did to that show is what they had coming before it and what they had coming after it. So the time slot alone is a death knell. But the other part is they're not entertaining. They're just not entertaining. They're not. Dak is going to be okay. Kind of explain yourself a little bit more, Danny, on that one. But yeah, Dak is coming back. Yeah, appreciate you, and Andre. I'm telling you, tired Cowboy fan said, "Give me a wrench. I'll get him out of here for you." Appreciate you, tired Cowboy. Manuel says, "Season not over until I see them beneficially eliminated." That's where I am. That's where I am, and that's why this evening we're going to talk about it. But I think the Dallas Cowboys, let's put all the stupid Cooper Rush, mythological unicorn talk to the side. All the 5-1 talk, let's put all that to the side because everyone wants to deal with the controversy. Let's get down to business. If the Cowboys are ever going to beat the Eagles this season, it's got to be this game. They're limping in this game too. They're limping into this game too. And if the Cowboys will just do, and I wish I had a phone call, I wish I had a phone where I could call up Mike McCarthy. And y'all know what I would scream in Mike McCarthy's ear? Run the ball. I wouldn't even listen. No, I don't want to hear it, Mike McCarthy. Run the ball. If you will just run the ball, everything's going to fall into place. Because if you run the ball, you're going to win the most important stat of the day. And the most important stat between the Eagles and the Cowboys, with both of them being injured, is the stat known as TOP, time of possession. Don't give yourself a chance to get blown out. Run the ball. Take every play down to 1 second. Run the ball. That's all you have to do. Run the ball. Play action will work. Cooper Rush will get time if you run the ball. That's all you have to do is run the ball. Delton, that's it. I have faith in Dak, but not the coaching staff. Dak's got to beat the coaching staff. He's got to beat the media, and he's got to beat the opponent. Jerry trying to get all the money out of Dak. Yeah, he's trying to get it all. And you know what? I think he's going to be lucky because Dak is just the right kind of guy to do it. What's going on, Greg? I don't know if you Greg number 1 or Greg number 2. We let the Bears get ahead of us. Hey, you know what? It's because of who we've lost to. What's going on, Lord Nova? Manuel says Cowboys need to win games and get out of last place in the division. Manuel, watch this. They don't need to win games. They just need to win this game. Then we can talk about the other games. All the Cowboys need is a win. And they need a team win. A team win is what they need. And I hope they can get it this weekend. I hope they can get it. Watch the boys mess around and right the ship and slide into the playoffs. It'll be the greatest story of the whole season. It'll be the whole story. It'll be the greatest story of the whole season. Dak is coaching up Rush for this game. He will help his backup versus Romo. Dak different. Dak is very comfortable winning himself no matter what anyone says. Mingo is our Debo Samuels. Man, Spider-Man, he looking like it, isn't he? He looking like it, isn't he? I thought he was a lineman. Niecy said, I thought he was a lineman. Man, this dude is a big dude, man. It's a big dude. Cowboys Nation still believe. No doubt. I predicted a 9-7 season early this year, but the talent and coaching will be the factor as to whether or not we can make a run. I've been saying it and saying it. I'm not listening to anyone talk about how bad this team is. They're not as good as the team last year, no doubt about it. Jerry let all the depth go. The veterans gone. But it's not the fact this team is bad. It's the fact that Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy are having some kind of tit-for-tat argument upstairs, and then in the court of public opinion, they want to, Jerry, I got all the confidence in the world in Mike McCarthy, and then he slaps him in the face in the same conversation. Yeah, he's suspended, but Zeke's a good guy. Zeke right back on the field this week. Zeke should have been cut. With everything they're saying about Zeke, if it's true, he should have been cut. Send a message to this team. No more nonsense. This is the problem with this team. It's, as I said before, it's the Barry Switzer effect. And it has never let go of this team. When Jimmy left this team, when Jerry fired Jimmy, he went and hired the best, softest, good old boy coach he could find. Somebody just to stand on the sideline while this team that at that time that was so good, it was on cruise control, and he came back and won a Super Bowl with it. Barry Switzer was the beginning of the end for that dynasty Cowboys in the 90s. And they've never recovered. And until Jerry Jones gets a disciplinary coach in here and let him do his doggone job, this team is always going to be battling the owner. The minute Mingo doesn't catch a pass, he will fall down the depth chart. You know what, though? I'm not gonna doubt what you're saying, Delton, because I think it was Freddie who brought it up. Ryan Flanoy catches a pass, fumbles it, out of bounds. We haven't seen him since. We haven't seen him since. I hope that isn't the case. Kevin McCarthy, Dak's hamstring is tore off the bone. Well, I'm gonna let you if you listen, Jerry said it's a blurred line. It's and James Slater's already reported it. It's not the Tyron Smith injury, Kevin. Tyron Smith was torn off the bone. Dak Prescott is halfway off the bone. And so what Jerry is even debating is, so if Dak rests and you come back and look at it 2 weeks later, it may repair itself, because they say it will repair itself with rest. And so what Dak is doing and what his team is trying to do is to give it a week or two and see what it looks like in a week or two, and if there is some repair, or if it's repaired some, because I don't think it has to be fully repaired for Dak. Dak is going to return, and I have a feeling Dak is going to return. And what better game to return, y'all? What better game to return? It's too new for the Philly game. You definitely don't want it to be the Houston Texans game. Well, it's got to be the New York Giants game. I mean, that's got to be the one you come back on if you're going to try to come back early. So I think that's where Dak, I mean, I don't know all this, but I do think he's going to try. And I'm not saying definitively, but I do think Dak is going to try to make the Thanksgiving game the game that he comes back. But I will say this, Kevin, I agree with where you're going. I don't want Dak to go in and cause more damage. But I think you just think about this. But let's weigh this out. So let's say Dak doesn't come back. They go 0-5, 1-4. And they decide to shut Dak down for the rest of the season. Or maybe they win 2 games. Dak says, either way, I'm out for the season. So I'm willing to risk it if we still got an opportunity to win in the playoffs. And so I'm telling you, Dak, just knowing the kind of person he is, Dak is actually weighing that out. Because what's the difference in being out for the season, a healthy scratch, and going down with the ship, and just if it's going to snap, it's going to snap, and I'll have the surgery anyway, and I'm still going for the season. I mean, you know what? That may not make sense to some of us, but that's an athlete's mentality. I mean, it is. I mean, that's guys like Dak Prescott's mentality. I mean, because the hamstrings, while they can be very serious and they can kind of end your career depending upon how they are, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you know, these physicians, these doctors are so much more technologically advanced, and they can do so many more things now with repair. I mean, in Dak Prescott's mind, he's like, man, you know what? I'll go down with the ship. I'll sit down for 2 weeks, let this thing repair some. I'll wrap this leg tight as I can get it. Because my son had a hamstring, but he didn't have the kind Dak has. He had the more common kind. But even then, my son was a cornerback. He's a pretty tall. I mean, he's not pretty tall. I mean, 6'1", a 6'1" cornerback. And he's a real muscular guy. So with his hamstring, what he did was they moved him from cornerback to safety. Wrap that leg up. So rather than him always having to, you know, with the quick wide receivers, the cuts and all the things they do, nope. Put him at safety. Let him survey the field. All he had to do was come down, lay the hammer, bam. Pass, all he had to do, kind of do a little bit more further backpedaling. Kind of play home field, kind of play center field a little bit. And I think with Dak Prescott, if they can get that leg to heal up some, and I'm telling you, I'm sure they're talking about ways, how can they fix it to where there's a less range of motion? How can he get the least range of motion? Because I'm telling you, man, I mean, these guys, these athletes like this, man, their minds are different, bro. I mean, their minds are different. I mean, I'm not saying that my son was an elite athlete, but him and they had a couple of other players that broke their collarbones the first time they had played on AstroTurf out here, and it was real cold. And they had 2 players, I think, maybe 3 in the same game, went down and broke the collarbones. I mean, these nutcases, man, they were trying to get back on the field with broke collarbones. I mean, these guys with these mentalities of, these guys with these mentalities of, man, play at all costs. It's a different mindset, man. Did the diagnosis change? See, Kevin, that's what Jerry is talking about. They're going to get another opinion because they want to see if Dak can still play because it's partially torn, not the Tyron Smith one. Tyron's was torn off. Dak is a class act, great person, the biggest reason I'm a fan. Me too, James Hill. Delton, Jerry better love Dak. He doesn't have Delta said he better love Dak. He don't have an option. You better believe he don't have an option for the next 4 years. It doesn't matter to me. I love Dak from day one. I did too, Roberta. What's going on? Yep, Dak is an Iron Man. And I think we're about to see Dak is going to try to come back in this game. Don't let the boys win a ring in this era of social media. You think the boys are expensive now? Just let them lift the Lombardi again. Whoo, boy, you better believe it. Kevin said Dak would have a Super Bowl by now if it wasn't for Cowboy and Jerry. Say it again, Kevin McCarthy. I am 100% with you. 100% with you. So what I want to do, I want to keep going because we're going to take up all of our time with the Jerry Jones interview. We're just going to keep commenting on it because Jerry is in here, man. I'm telling you, boy, you want to talk about somebody that'll mess up a game plan, man. Jerry Jones will mess up a game plan. 100% with you. So what I want to do. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I had to go and find somebody on the chat. Sorry. All right. I had myself playing the background. All right. Here we go.
The faster we make this decision, the quicker we get the clock running if we IR'd him. And, of course, the facts are we don't have to IR him at all. But that keeps us from bringing a player up to the active roster. But I'll weigh whether or not it's worth not having that player on the roster while we let this play out.
Jerry, you've been doing this for a long time, and I know I'm going to the future of this season. Have you guys made decisions in, let's say, week 15 through 17 where you're at record-wise on if you want a guy to try to play maybe the last few games of the year?
No, that type of thinking hasn't entered into. I'm well aware it's there, well aware it could happen. But that type of thinking hasn't entered into it. And right now we're trying to, first and foremost, do the best thing we can do against Philadelphia. That's critical. And I think we're doing that and give us our best chance with everything we've got to work with to get out here and win this game this weekend. That's it. That's where it is. As we move along, in general, when things come along that are a part of that we can reference back, such as Mingo, such as where we thought of him in the draft. When we see something we can live with that, that really, in a way, has nothing to do with the issue of whether or not you're paring down your roster and looking to next year or not. We wanted Mingo because we wanted Mingo we wanted Mingo when we left that draft. We were disappointed we didn't get him.
Can you kind of walk us through how all of that went down and in the process of going to pursue him?
So you're pretty much hearing Jerry. Let's let this ad play through. You're pretty much hearing Jerry, man. He's saying that they wanted this guy from the get-go, and they wanted him bad. And by looking at him, I can see why they wanted him bad. But not only that, again, it was his combine that made him rise up, and that's why Carolina went and got him. Because the Cowboys, and I still don't understand what they're talking about with the Schoonmaker thing. It was said that that's why they got Schoonmaker, because he was gone with Carolina in the second, even though they had a third-round grade on him. So it's almost like, so you're saying that you would have got him with that second-round pick because you really wanted him that bad, but because Carolina got him, you got Schoonmaker? Because I'm kind of confused if you had a third-round grade on him. That's what people are saying. If you had a third-round grade on him, why would you go and spend a second on a third-round grade unless you were starting to get some inklings maybe that people might were looking at him also because he rose up in the combine? It's the only thing I can figure. But, I mean, you can hear it. I mean, it's clear. They wanted this kid bad.
That he was could be available. And that they, when we found that out, then we started a dialogue there. And again, we didn't look at a list of available players. we were looking at a player that we had a big interest in when he came out. Frankly, we're disappointed that we missed him, and he fits the profile of what we want, and we will have him on the field, I predict, in the very near future. And he's the type of receiver that, as we look to the future with Dak, that is Dak friendly.
You know, that was something too. Like I was listening with McCarthy talking this morning about keeping your board.
I like something that Jerry just said. Dak friendly. Now, y'all remember what I told you? I said, I think Dak Prescott also likes a bigger receiver. And that's the one thing, you think about it, that's the one thing that Amari Cooper brought to the table. He was a larger receiver. I mean, people may not realize it, man. Amari Cooper not small. Amari Cooper looks a certain way because he's a very muscular kid. He's a very muscular guy. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Amari Cooper isn't small. Let me look at this up real quick. And also, while I'm doing this, man, we got quite a few people. Quite a few people watching us online. I mean, if you would just take the time out to everybody like this video. Everybody online, please like this video. Who's watching? Like it so we can continue to kick it into the algorithm, continue to kick our community, our channel out there so more people can watch it if you don't mind. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We got a whole lot more Cowboy stuff coming up over this entire football season and going into the future. But Amari Cooper, let's think here. Amari Cooper, there's another reason why I think Amari Cooper. Let me see if we can get some of his measurables here. I want to show you, see, Amari Cooper, you know, just kind of looking at this right here. I want you to look at how big Amari Cooper is. Amari Cooper is 6'1". He's not only 6'1", he's a bigger bodied receiver. One thing Amari Cooper does, a lot of people don't realize, Amari Cooper takes care of his body. He takes care of his body. And even here, it says Amari Cooper, 6'1", 203. Look at this, 6'1", 203. So when you think about Amari Cooper, and because he's 203 pounds of muscle, see, that muscle is heavier than that fat. He's a muscular dude. This is why Dak Prescott liked him. He was a great route runner. He was a bigger bodied receiver, a great catch radius. And man, I'm telling you, Amari Cooper, people can say anything they want to say about Amari Cooper. This man has to be top 5 route runner. When Amari is on, man. When you watch that dude go in and out of breaks, that's why when Dak loved Amari Cooper, Dak could throw the ball to a spot. Go back and watch some of the throws that Dak used to make to Amari Cooper. Dak could throw the ball where Amari Cooper is supposed to be. By the time Amari Cooper come out of the break, bam, right there. See, Amari Cooper was, and I like CeeDee Lamb, but as far as pure, unadulterated size, hands, speed, Amari Cooper to this point. And I think CeeDee Lamb is going to get there because I still say he's top 3 in the league right now. But Amari Cooper with Dak Prescott. Amari Cooper with Dak Prescott was different. And I'm really interested to see what Josh Allen is going to do with him. Amari Cooper with Dak Prescott for about 1.5 to 2 years. Amari Cooper was different, y'all. Amari Cooper could not be held with Dak Prescott. He couldn't be held. And so when you think about it, Amari Cooper could arguably be said that Amari Cooper was the best wide receiver that Dak Prescott has ever had. And I'm telling you, I bet Dak Prescott was sick the day they traded Amari Cooper. I bet y'all he was sick. Because if CeeDee Lamb was covered, he still had Amari Cooper. And if Amari Cooper was covered, he still had CeeDee Lamb. And if both of them were covered, then that means that somebody would be running open. Tight end. I mean, that's why I don't understand why the tight end we had, the guy that's playing with the guy that's Dalton Schultz. I mean, that team, that's why Dalton Schultz didn't understand why he was eating so good. Man, you got two good guys on the outside. You had a running game with Tony Pollard and Zeke, but Tony Pollard was really killing it. Of course you're going to eat up the seam. Why wouldn't you eat up the seam? Do y'all know what's missing from the Dallas Cowboys this season on the offense? The seam routes. The tight end seam routes aren't there. Why are they not there? Because you can't run the ball and you refuse to run the ball. And if you won't run the ball, the linebackers won't come down. If you won't run the ball, the safeties won't peek in the backfield. If you won't run the ball, you won't make the pass rush hesitate for a moment. Oh, it's a run. Oh, it's a pass. If you don't run the ball, people do not understand. If you don't run the ball and you only have one legitimate freak wide receiver, well, you're going to be easy to stop every single time. The seam routes are gone. The seam routes are gone. The hitch routes are gone. The stop routes are gone. I mean, you just robbed your whole offense. You literally robbed your whole offense. So you got to figure out ways. If you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, now you got to figure out ways of how you scheme these guys open. And Mike McCarthy hasn't been good at that. He hasn't been good at that. So it's a problem. It's a problem. And so I love what Jerry Jones said right there. He said that Mingo was Dak friendly. Duh. Bigger. 4.46 speed. 6'2", 220. Large catch radius. Itty bitty cornerbacks. Can't beat him. Yeah, I see why they got Mingo. I still say they could have got him, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give Jerry Jones this much credit. I'm gonna give Jerry Jones this much credit. Y'all tell me if y'all agree with me. I have a cardinal rule. If you want something, go get it. If you know you want it, don't wait on other people. Don't wait on other people to see, okay, I want to see if the price drop. I can tell you, there have been things in my life that I really, 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 really wanted. And I would say, okay, it's on sale. I'm going to wait to see if the price goes down. Well, guess what happens when the price go down? Well, if the price go down, everybody starts saying, now it's more attractive. I want it. So I say, if you want something and you know it's going to really help you to be something or achieve something that you want to achieve, you know what I say? If you really want it, can you really overspend for it? You better get it. You better get it, because if that price drops down, it becomes more attractive to everybody. And so I think what Jerry Jones did, Jerry Jones said, we wanted Jonathan Mingo. We want Jonathan Mingo. And if we mess around and start trying to negotiate, talking about, no, we're not going to give you a fourth, we'll give you a sixth. Well, maybe Carolina counters and say, well, so-and-so said they give us a sixth. Oh, no, so-and-so said they give us a fifth. And so now, rather than you getting him thinking, oh, if I go and play hardball and I say a sixth, if I say a sixth and then someone else gets them for a fifth, and you miss out again. So I understand why they did that. Yes, Kevin McCarthy, I agree that these 3 and 4 letter networks don't even talk football no more. But if you really wanted Mingo and you missed him the first time, Carolina, watch what happened. They probably had a 3rd round grade on him. He rose up in that draft because of his combine. Carolina got him. Cowboys said, nah, not this time. Because if they start talking about that there's nobody want to give a 4th and we'll take a 5th, and that means it opens up to so many more people if you say a 5th. Because I'm pretty sure that when they're negotiating, trying to get these trades, they're watching people. I mean, they're watching kind of who's giving what, who's offering what. And Jerry probably found out who was offering what. And he said, I'll tell you what, I'll do something preposterous. I'll give you a 4th. Done. They got their man. SoundCloud says it's bingo mingo time. I hope it is. I hope it is. I hope it is. Shenard, what's going on? I think Mike is down to run it. Jerry held him back from doing so and even said it in the post-game interview that he wanted to. I wish he would just say F Jerry and call the game as he wants. SoundCloud, what can they do? Fire him? You already don't have a contract. Do what you want to do, Mike. They still got to pay you out. Do what you want to do. I'm with you, SoundCloud. If Dak is there with practice, I hope he's helping Mike. I hope he's helping Mike setting up the plays. Remember, he knows Kellen Moore's tendency as well. And you know what is so funny? I was listening to somebody this morning, and they saying the same thing I'm saying. Boy, hey, man, we're going to talk about this afternoon, and we're going to talk crazy this afternoon. Boy, I'm telling y'all, they're saying the same thing I'm saying. The storyline is, I'm going to spoil it, but I'm going to have it on the storyline this evening. The storyline in this game, y'all, as much as Jerry Jones has meddled in the business of Mike McCarthy, that Mike McCarthy is a squirrel too, man. That Mike McCarthy is a squirrel too. Because I believe, I could be totally wrong, but Mike McCarthy is the reason why Kellen Moore got fired in Dallas. That year, the Cowboys got beat by the San Francisco 49ers, and Kellen Moore was here, and they didn't run the ball as much as they probably should have. Mike McCarthy says, I just want to run the ball. So you're saying, Mike McCarthy, the reason why we got bounced out this season is because Kellen Moore didn't run the ball? Mike McCarthy wanted that play. He wanted the play calling duties. He wanted the play calling duties. He said he wanted to run the ball. And he did run the ball last year, somewhat. But then they got to the point where they either couldn't run the ball, and I don't think it wasn't that they couldn't. I think Mike McCarthy, again, this is why he got fired in Green Bay, a lack of creative play calling, and he didn't want to run the ball. That was it. And I'm telling you, Kellen Moore got revenge on his mind. Run the ball and then run the ball, and after that, run the ball some more. I'm telling y'all, Kellen Moore got revenge on his mind. And Kellen Moore knows Mike McCarthy. He's in the defensive room this week, and he knows some of our defensive players. He knows some of their tendencies. I'm not going to be surprised if he goes after our safeties in particular. Kellen Moore coming here to run this score up, y'all. And he's also going to put on an audition tape. He's going to put on an audition tape for this head coaching job. Let's text Jerry and tell him to tell Mike to run the freaking ball. That's all. Hey, I'm telling y'all how we can win this game. Run the ball. That's it. If I could call Mike McCarthy right now, run the ball. You can win these games. That's all you got to do is run the ball. 9-7 doesn't add up to 17. I mean 9-8. I'm sorry. I'm so used to the 16-game season. Shanoa says, big dude, hope he takes care of himself and not end up like Kevin Benjamin. Man, what happened to Kelvin Benjamin? Man, that dude said what he said about Cam Newton, and they ran that dude out the league, man. Big Mike told Jerry to sit down and shut up. Hey, Jay Recruiter, we talked about it yesterday. Boy, Mike McCarthy went nuclear on Jerry Jones in that press conference. Hey, Dak, stand next to Mike and help him manage the clock. No doubt, DC, no doubt. Do you trust this team to do the right thing? You got me, DC, big Oso. You got me. I'm struggling with Mike McCarthy, man, because every time Mike McCarthy, DC, we call him here. I coined him as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's Dr. Jekyll when he's running his own play sheet. He's Mr. Hyde when he's running the ball and calling the game like he called in Philadelphia. So with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, do we really know which one we're going to get? But I tell you this, I've been saying this, limitations breed creativity. And they can tell you anything they want to, what they think about what they think about Cooper Rush, and he can do everything Dak can do. Well, why did you sign Dak Prescott? I don't want a backup that can do everything my quarterback can do, because if he can do everything my quarterback can do, if he can run the ball, if he can throw, if he can make every throw, if he can throw it deep down the field, if he can read defenses and make all of these adjustments on the fly. Well, when my starting quarterback job or his contract comes up, well, what do I need him for? We can save money. Let's promote the backup and bring in another backup. Not believing it. Hogwash. Limitations breed creativity. There are certain things Cooper Rush cannot do. Maybe a couple of things he can do better than Dak. So you take what he does best, you limit him, because the reporter asked it yesterday. He said that you had to learn not to, and just to paraphrase, he said that you have to learn that you're not Dak Prescott. Very insulting, but this guy's basically saying, you can't do what Dak Prescott does. So you realize that, right? So what are you going to do knowing that you can't do everything that Dak does? Man, nobody's dumb. Everybody knows that Cooper Rush can't do everything Dak can do. Because if he could, you wouldn't have kept Dak this year. Cooper Rush is a great guy. Great guy, humble guy. And if his skill set was that large, he would not only be the starter for the Cowboys, but he'd be with another team. Brandon Boyce, I think it's a good comment, but I don't think you can do that as much with Cooper Rush. And I actually think with what's going on now, run the ball, get time of possession, and don't give the Eagles more time with the ball, because with everybody they have hurt, there's somebody that isn't hurt. And they're saying he got a little ankle twitch or whatever. Okay, miss me. Saquon Barkley coming to play, man. Saquon Barkley coming to play with the Cowboys. And that boy going to be dangerous on us. Any updates on Lawrence? D-Law, didn't hear nothing. I think D-Law is going to be out with another week or two. That Liz Frank injury manual, that's the one that took Dez Bryant out, and people might not realize it. That's the one that took Dez Bryant out for, I think, part of the season. What's going on, Purple Soul? I don't think that's a good idea for Dak. He's already having reoccurring issues with his ankle and legs, hamstring and calf. That's affecting his play. Yep. And the problem is he's got this mentality, though, he wants to play. Y'all remember to drop a like on this fine content. Appreciate you, Gregory from Texas. Yeah, make sure you drop a like. The fan base will trash him regardless. He's got to think about his long-term health. And, that's what I was saying. That in Dak's eyes, if he's going to get surgery and be out anyway, I mean, these athletes, they think different. Well, I just go down with the ship. I'd rather rip it all the way off out there and have the surgery and be gone for the season than have the surgery be gone for the season, and it's the same either way. So Dak was drafted as a project and became the franchise. It was all him. Think about that. That's why I give him credit. He deserves every penny he got. Dak has absolutely earned it. So let's get back and listen, because Jerry got some more good stuff for us, y'all. Jerry is a walking headline. Listen to this.
Around, because there are guys that you do like that might be available down the road and your interest level in them. Do you often see sometimes like they're in a situation that doesn't work where they are, but it's gonna fit here because we do something a little different, and that kind of makes your mind up about why you want a player?
The instances around our game, the instances around NFL of where a player can excel in one system but doesn't do as well in another, where the right coaching meld with that player is. All of those things are very real. Mm-hmm. They're very real. And, of course, the journey that a player has to establish himself in the NFL has to deal with injury, if you will. It has to deal with roster circumstances. All of those things come to bear. You say, well, but if you've got somebody that is just absolutely a obvious player, then doesn't he dismiss all of those kinds of things, and shouldn't he be out there one of the leading receivers in the NFL if he was as good as we thought he might be coming out? That's not necessarily the case either. But so, yes, we rely. One of the things, I'll say it this way, one of the things that we invest in, and we invest a lot of time and money in, is our evaluation of players coming out of college. And that doesn't just, we don't throw all of that away the day the draft is over. That's the base of what that player is, and you can follow that base as it evolves through that player's NFL career, even if he's not a Cowboy. And so we have a great knowledge. I can remember the conversations that we had with Mingo when he came through on his visits. And so when we see a player that certainly at this juncture, and certainly under circumstances at Carolina, we can accept the fact that he hasn't diminished our thought and value of him. So that's what happened there. We saw a player that we really coveted when he came through, and we had a chance to get him.
Can you tell us any more about what's been happening with Deron Bland? A few weeks ago, it seemed like he was ready to go. He suffered a setback. How big of a setback happened since he's still not practicing all these weeks later?
Or technically, or how somebody evaluates from their injury or the progress they're making or what they should make. It is a big swing between players as to the same injury when they're going to be ready to go. We never, whether it be in game or out of game or for the duration of several weeks, we never dismiss the number one consideration, and that's how does the player feel? How does he feel? Can he rely on it? Does he push off on it? Is he free to cut on it? Where is he going? Because at the end of the day, that's all that counts. And I've seen players go out there with unrepaired injuries and play randomly with an unrepaired injury and play more aggressive and play quicker than players that have had the injury repaired. And they're still tentative on it. Now, that doesn't mean a thing about the quality of the individual or the player at all. I know you get tired of these old stories, but my trainer was a Virginian that I had when I played at Arkansas, and he said, "Jones, you've got the lowest tolerance for pain of any kid we've ever had here." And I said, "Well, damn it, it hurts me more, Brownie, than it does the rest of it. I deserve a medal. I'm in pain out here." And he said, "Jones, come on, boy."
That is fantastic. We're talking.
I personally like the stories.
Yes, absolutely. In case people didn't know, I'm sure they did. We're talking Jerry Jones right here on 105.3 The Fan. Now, you're talking about Jonathan Mingo. I know that.
Okay, I'm missing something here. They brought up DaRon Bland. I think there's something seriously wrong with DaRon Bland. I don't know. I mean, of course I can't put my finger on it because no one's saying it. But there's something wrong with DaRon Bland. And it's getting to the point, they're hoping that he's going to be able to come back this season. And if the season is probably still intact, just like Dak Prescott, and I think Dak's coming back regardless. But if the season is still intact, DaRon Bland is probably going to come back at some point. But when does it get to the point that if what he's dealing with is this serious, why do you bring him back? I mean, DaRon Bland may literally be gone for the rest of the season. There is something seriously going on with DaRon Bland. And so while I was entertained by the story that Jerry told, I really didn't get a lot from what he said about DaRon Bland. So again, injury report, DaRon Bland is definitely going to be a scratch again. And it's probably okay this week. It's probably okay this week because they don't have A.J. Brown. And I'm hearing Devontae Smith is kind of dealing with a hamstring issue. So DaRon Bland not playing this week is probably not that big of a deal. Once again, I think they'll be able to make do. I think Mike Zimmer better figure something out. Now let's hear what they got to say about Jonathan Mingo, and then I'm gonna show you something about the Philadelphia depth chart that's pretty amazing.
The trade deadline has passed, but Micah Parsons said he was flattered that so many people talked about his trade value last week. I will admit that is a topic that has come up on this show as well. Was his name ever, or has it ever been brought up as a potential trade candidate?
No, absolutely not.
And that makes plenty of sense.
So teams don't call you, Jerry, and I mean I know you guys wouldn't, but did teams call you and see?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't because we want Micah Parsons. He's integral to our future, and so no is the big answer. And what if I got on the phone around here and picked the top player around the league, 3 or 4 of them? You know what I'd get if I picked up the phone and said, you want to trade him? A big no. Are you kidding me? And so the point is that we haven't done that, and that hasn't been done. We haven't had one conversation at the level that counts, which is my level, and with Steven and Will and people like that. But we haven't had one conversation ever about not having Micah Parsons on the team. Ever.
Jerry, I'm going to change the topic a little bit to around the NFL.
Y'all tell me what you think. I'm about to call cap on Jerry Jones. Did y'all hear what Jerry Jones said? I just get caught up in words. I'm always trying to closely listen to what someone is saying and how they say it. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think on this. But this is the part that I'm listening at. I'm listening to these parts right here. I'm listening to, did teams call you? Jerry again deflects and says, if I got on the phone and called a team about one of their best players, I would get a no or I'd get hung up on. So did that really answer the question? If teams called him? I believe Adam Schefter on this, because Adam Schefter may not be getting that, and I'm sure he didn't get that from Jerry Jones. Who Adam Schefter probably got that from were the teams who probably inquired about Micah Parsons. And let me give y'all a little bit of common sense. We've watched Jerry Jones 2 years in a row give up a 4th-round draft pick for a player that someone else has basically deemed not useful for them. We saw Trey Lance. We've now seen Jonathan Mingo. And so now the word is out on the Dallas Cowboys. We can fleece the Dallas Cowboys in trade picks. I mean, look at what they did with Amari Cooper. And even though we saved a tremendous cap space, teams kind of, we can deal with Jerry, then we probably get more than what anyone else would give us. That's number one. With the way the Dallas Cowboys season is going, do y'all know that we're not the only ones that are perceptive? I know sometimes we may, think we're football geniuses, and some of us probably are. But if I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys and I can see a planned demolition, I can see a planned implosion, I can see that they're doing, and Jerry agreed with these same guys who asked him about a soft rebuild. So you don't think other teams can see that? Other teams aren't dumb. They're noticing that Mike McCarthy is on a lame duck contract. All the coaches on a 1-year contract. They playing all these young players, got rid of all the veterans. No player development going on. No, they're about to start over, it looks like. With Dak, I said it at the beginning, Dak, CD, and Micah. Those are the 3 pillars. They're going to start over with them. But you don't think other teams are looking, saying, maybe they want the Herschel Walker trade? Did y'all see what Dan Quinn gave for Marshawn Lattimore, who's now in his 8th season? He gave up an entire draft for Marshawn Lattimore. What do y'all think he gives up for Micah Parsons? I'm listening to you, Jerry. I'm listening to you. You're not fooling us. I guarantee you teams called about Micah Parsons. Why wouldn't you? You ever known somebody to have something that you really wanted and you know how much they liked it and you made an indecent proposal? Some of y'all might be too young for that movie. But sometimes there's something that you know somebody has and they love, they like. And you give them an indecent proposal. What will it take for you to give that up? Why wouldn't you? Not buying it, Jerry. I want you to look at his next term. I had to key in on. Jerry says, I wouldn't. Jerry says, we haven't. And then this was the term that got me. He said, at the level that counts. What are you saying? That at some level, that was probably a conversation. It doesn't mean that they didn't shut it down. Doesn't mean they didn't shut it down. But I'm sure at some level, as phone calls come in, and there's probably not a lot, but as phone calls come in, there is probably somebody having conversations about this Micah Parsons issue, because I don't care what anyone says. Even if I don't want to give up something that I covet, something material that is. You think I'm not going to listen to the offer? I'm going to listen to the offer, just even if it's just for laughs and giggles. But if somebody comes along and say, hey, George, I know how much you love Micah Parsons. I'll give you 4 ones. I'll give you 4 ones and 4 twos. You don't think I'm listening for that? Come on, Jerry. I get you, bro. I get you. I know you love you some Micah Parsons, but I'm not believing that Adam Schefter just said that, pulling that out of the clear blue sky. Somebody called the Dallas Cowboys about Micah Parsons. And if I'm Micah Parsons, hey, you know what? Because I'm sure he heard some of the things people were saying. Because I said it was the new Herschel Walker trade. I'm sure there are some others who said it could be the new Herschel Walker trade. I'm sure Micah Parsons was flattered by that. Because we do consider him to be that good. Micah Parsons is a freak athlete. He is. I think he's out of place. I don't think they should continue to play him at defensive end. I think he'd be more versatile and helpful to the team as a linebacker, and blitzing him from the linebacker position, giving some element of surprise, letting him help and stop the run game with his quickness and speed. But they have him at defensive end. Yeah, I saw this earlier, LaQueen. You said that Dak said he's a fast healer. He did say it, and I believe he is. Nisi says, answer me this. Why is he on the radio every week? Jerry Jones. Every week he's on the radio, and it's funny to me. He's going to give up some secrets. Andre, hold on. He going to tell us about Trey Lance. Watch, he going to tell us about Trey Lance. Nisi's mentor was Al Davis. Davis taught Jerry early on, the owner should be the face and the voice of the franchise instead of head coach. Jerry's words, not mine. Yep. Mingo replaces Cooks. Yeah, Cooks is done. This is last season. That's why I had him on the trade block. I mean, if the Cowboys could get something for him, I would have traded him. Because that's exactly, if y'all think about it, that's exactly what the Houston Texans did. The Houston Texans traded him right along the time of that deal. Okay, and he wanted out. But what did they do? They waited, and then they let him go. Kevin, he can be the face, but you don't have to tell everything. The 90s team could back up his talk. This team is trying to get there. Yeah, see, in the 90s, he couldn't write checks that his team couldn't cash because there wasn't a check big enough he could write because his team could cash every check. This team ain't there yet. Micah Parsons will play a great game on Sunday. Jerry gonna make sure of that. I'm hoping you're right, Andre. Interesting times. Yes, it is, G. Caesar. But Mingo couldn't beat out the rest of Carolina receivers, though. If I'm not mistaken, he was fourth on the depth chart. I'm thinking he was sixth, or he was way down there. But I think what Mingo is saying is it wasn't that he was buried in the depth chart. Mingo is like he's almost saying that they were either playing favorites, DC, or they were ignoring talent, pretty much one and the same. Because I had the same question as you. Why couldn't he dig himself out of the depth chart? But you kind of listen to him, and he's saying it wasn't on him. He said, as them. And I also wonder about Bryce Young. Bryce Young got through into the fire. And I think anytime you have a brand new quarterback, I think the worst thing you can do, the formula is simple. If I'm going to bring in a rookie quarterback and let him start, this just me, the Black Kyle Shanahan. The one thing I'm going to make sure he's going to have is a running game. If I draft him, one, I'm drafting the running back, two. And I'm trying to get the best running back in the draft, or I'm going to trade for the best running back free agent out there. That's what I'm doing. Or I'm trading for the best running back that anybody will trade. That's what I'm doing. Because that young quarterback, he doesn't need the whole pressure of the entire franchise on his shoulders. He needs someone to share that load. I'm telling y'all, if you look at Dak Prescott's rookie season, see, that team was supposed to be Tony Romo's team. And if you look at the veteran leadership on that team, and I'm just talking about these players in particular, there were probably more. But I'm telling y'all, Travis Frederick changed this entire Dallas Cowboys franchise. He changed it when he got here, and it changed when he left. Travis Frederick was an absolute pillar of this Dallas Cowboy football team. Their run game went totally down after he left. Their run game is totally different if he's here. Their pass blocking is totally different. Do y'all know, barring injury, Travis Frederick would still be here with Zach Martin. This Dallas Cowboy line would still be good. It would still be good. Dak Prescott had Frederick, Martin, Zeke, even though he's a rookie. Man, we talking about rookie Zeke. Rookie Zeke was ending folks' career. Ask Cam Chancellor what happened when he tried to go head up with Zeke Elliott. I mean, Zeke was ending careers, man, in that rookie season. Zeke killed it them first 2 seasons, especially that rookie season. You think about the fact Dez Bryant is on that team. I mean, you think about he had people around him. And so when you think about Bryce Young, who did they really have around Bryce Young? They didn't do Bryce Young right because he's already a smaller quarterback. I mean, Bryce Young, man, you better have some things in place for a quarterback that small and he's a rookie. You better have some things in place. And I don't think Carolina, I hear they got terrible ownership. They just don't have things right over there. And so I'm hoping, DC, I'm hoping that it wasn't that he couldn't work up the depth chart. I'm hoping that it wasn't his talent. I'm hoping that it is exactly what I'm saying. Things were not right, and we're seeing things are not right. Come on, man. You bring Andy Dalton up to start. I'll never forget, man, when Dak Prescott went down, man, and there were some people I was going to church with, man, and, boy, they hated Dak Prescott so much, they said, oh, man, the red rifle. Boy, Andy Dalton is about to turn the Dallas Cowboys around, and Andy Dalton going to be the future of the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak Prescott going to be out of here. How'd that work out? So, some of this could probably be, there were some issues in Carolina. Pitts was a tight end, okay. Pitts was a tight end. Okay, yeah, give me a little bit more elaboration on that. Jerry's dap overflowing. Man, this dude be doing too much talking, man. I mean, the Cowboys will play different with Rush. I hope they actually go all balls in. The playbook with Dak seems very repetitive and restricted, in my opinion. Maybe that's why he gets intercepted a lot. Watch this, Fernie, you. It's not that it's restricted. They're trying to actually do too much with Dak Prescott. And they don't have the pieces around him. That's what's making the playbook look restricted. They're trying to do fancy stuff. I mean, they're trying to do this and do whatever they were trying to do. But the problem is they won't run the ball. And so the fancy stuff looks restricted. There's no separation by the wide receivers. It looks stale. They're not, as Troy Aikman reported, they're not coming off the ball hard. The plays don't look right. And so they're trying to do all of these different things with Dak, but they don't have the players. So what do you do when you don't have the players? That's when you actually do dumb the playbook all the way down and say, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. I'm sorry, but Andy Reid is doing this same thing with Patrick Mahomes. He's running the ball. And if you run the ball, it opens up your offense. Even the plain stuff look good because now you got play action working for you. Man, people don't understand, and we say this sometimes, and I keep saying this. Yeah, Dak Prescott, he's a play action quarterback. Every quarterback really is a play action quarterback. You get any quarterback, average, good, or elite. You get him a running game. They all look different. They all look different. They'll tear you up with a running game. You see what Patrick Mahomes doing? He couldn't do nothing in the third quarter. He scored 0 points in the third quarter. Guess what happened when Andy Reid unleashed Kareem Hunt? They started scoring touchdowns. They started scoring touchdowns because that running game opened up that passing game and allowed Patrick Mahomes to do some things. I laugh at the Cowboys running read options and you know you're not going to run the ball. There's nothing to read. What is that to read? What are you wasting your time for with play action and we know you're not going to run the ball? I mean, this is crazy. Read options with Dak Prescott. I'm not following Dak Prescott. He's not going to run the ball. And I hope they take that out, Fernie. Please, don't do no read option with Cooper Rush. Unless you're going to run the ball. And I mean run it. I'm not talking about 12 times, 8 times with Cook or 3 times with Cook, and then we look at the box scores 25 times. If the Cowboys don't run this ball 40 to 45 times, they have no chance. The further Cooper Rush attempts go up, y'all watch what I tell you in this game, the further his attempts go up, the less chance they're going to have at winning this game. If he throws 15 times, their chances are immense. He throws 20 times, they're really good. 25 times, they're good. 30 times, the game over. The game is over because that means that we're in some sort of shootout. And if you get Dallas in a shootout, advantage of the team. Advantage of the team. Because you don't have the wide receivers. We don't have the wide receivers. That means our running game has been totally nullified, which is what Mike McCarthy has done game after game. Have y'all noticed what happens? We go into halftime. We may either be up 10-6. We're down 14-10. The game is close. What happens in the third quarter? We're getting outscored in the third quarter more than any team in the league. Mike McCarthy's game plan in the third quarter is so bad, the team gets behind by 2 scores, and now we're forced to do nothing but pass the ball, and that's a recipe for disaster. That's how Dak Prescott wound up getting hurt. That's how it happened. Cooper Rush can win this game if you'll just run the ball. Let him run the ball. What's going on, Mitch? Andre said he's a playmaker, but Dak had Dez Bryant. Wasn't he Dak friendly? Yeah, that's why I mentioned him on that rookie team. And I'm biased when it comes to Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant is from East Texas, where I'm from, and Dez Bryant, man, people don't understand. Dez Bryant was a beast in high school, a beast in college, and he ripped onto the NFL scene like a monster. And Dez Bryant was really Dak Prescott friendly. But what happened to Dez Bryant is that Dez Bryant, number one, he started suffering some injuries. And then number two, they started doing some dumb stuff with Dez Bryant because of his contract. And then that thing just fell apart. Coop was a smart player too and very cerebral like Dak. Yes, Purple Soul, I'm with you. Amari's footwork is top 10. No doubt, no doubt. You watch Amari Cooper with Josh Allen. You watch what he looked like with Josh Allen. He's going to look just like he looked with Dak in those first 2 seasons. You watch what I tell you. Caesar says timing. Yeah, Dalton Schultz. Gene says, loved Amari. Hey, I'm not with you on CD being top 3. Did you? Guess who is in my top 3? Justin Jefferson, Chase, Lamb. Chase a different type of receiver. See, people don't understand something about CD. What makes CD so good? Great hands. Can be a great route runner when he wants to be. But his yards after the catch, he's a yak monster. And if he gets a little bit ahead of you, he can outrun the average cornerbacks. And so CD is a monster. When you look at his size, his total skill set, and what he's achieved, CD Lamb is a monster. That boy Jamar Chase, whoo, man. Man, he put a display on last night. Big, fast hands. Break tackles, whoo, man. Yeah, Jamar Chase is the real deal. And I don't know, I might better say CD top 5. I always put Tyreek Hill in my top 5 just on speed alone. I mean, they changed the NFL overtime rules in the playoffs because of Tyreek Hill. I mean, this dude took a little simple crossing. I mean, just a little 5-yard crossing route, man, and put the bunny ears up, man. This dude is gone to the crib. So Tyreek Hill is a different type of receiver. But CeeDee Lamb is up there, man. He top 3, top 4 easy. But yeah, Jamar Chase, I think, is a little bit ahead of him. You saying what I've been saying for the last 3 years. Yeah, okay, give me a little bit more, Anthony. I'm saying so much here. Dalton Schultz said that the Dallas Cowboys was a zoo. DC, you know why he said they were a zoo? Because they wouldn't pay him. Isn't it strange that this is the same Dalton Schultz, DC? He wanted the Cowboys to pay him like a top 3 tight end. Have you noticed what's happened to Dalton Schultz since he's went to the Houston Texans? He's doing good, but he's not doing what he did with Dak Prescott. And he has not been nowhere near as productive as he was with Dak Prescott. And you know where they have him ranked? They don't even have him ranked as a top 2. They don't even have Dalton Schultz. If you look at the tight end rankings, he's not even in the 2nd tier. Dalton Schultz is in the 3rd tier. He's in the 3rd tier. So he's a little bit sore. Schultz was too distracted by the cheering fans. Remember, he got distracted by the people walking Valley Holder Stadium tours. Yeah, he got distracted because we wasn't paying him that money. You remember Joey Galloway? Man, we talked about that the other day, Manuel. We talked about the worst contracts in Dallas Cowboys history. Joey Galloway was I think he was number 2. But Roy Williams, it has to be number 1. He has to be number 1. With all that being said, Jerry Stephen made bad moves. Yes, they did the last few years. Jerry's in touch with his feminine side when it comes to shot. Yep, Jerry says bad right now. Bad right now, man. He does. Dak gave his blood, sweat, and tears to his organization, even when he broke his ankle and tried to put it back together. Yes, he did, Keith. Jerry ruined his organization, giving Dak some weapons and Dak some weapons and watch him shine. Now, notice now what Jerry is telling us, Keith, and I hope it comes to fruition. What he's telling us is that Jonathan Mingo was already supposed to be one of those Dak Prescott weapons. He's Dak friendly. DC also, I think his name he said was Dez Dak friendly. He was. But remember, Dez was Romo's man. Dez, man, he made Romo with those jump throws. So what Jerry is saying is that now he's getting Dak, his man, his weapons, guys I'm getting for him. CeeDee Lamb is one of them. Jonathan Mingo was supposed to be that other big receiver. They drafted Jonathan Tolbert. He's supposed to materialize, which I think Jonathan Tolbert could be a 3rd or 4th for you. But I'm not going to be surprised if he doesn't make it on this team, because I'm still hoping against hope. I want the Dallas Cowboys to go into the draft and don't be lazy and don't be content. I'm sorry. Go in there and get a top 3. Whoever, I showed it yesterday or the day before. You go in there and you spend, I don't know what they're going to spend that number 1 on. I mean, you keep going O-line and D-line and it's not turning out. You're saying that Guyton and BB, as they develop, they're going to be good. So if that's the case, go in there with that number 1 and get you a wide receiver. And don't go below number 3. Don't go below the 3rd round on running backs. I mean, you can go in the 4th. I'm sorry. Dallas needs another Ezekiel Elliott type running back on this team to really help turn it around, because that's always been the Cowboys' way. Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett. Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. Tony Romo, DeMarco Murray. Not long term, but for about 2 or 3 seasons there, DeMarco Murray just emerged out of the blue. I mean, nobody even knew DeMarco Murray was that good until they just started running the doggone ball. So Dak Prescott, we had Zeke, But that only lasted 2 years. So we need to get Dak Prescott the same thing we did for Tony Romo when we went and got Zeke, but Tony Romo got hurt. So what we need to do with Dak, and that's why we need to make sure we monitor this situation with Dak very closely. You've paid him $231, or he's going to get a guaranteed $231 million. So what you need to do now, let's go back to the formula, Jerry. Let's go back to the formula. Let's get your top paid quarterback, just like Troy Aikman was. Let's get your top paid quarterback, just like Tony Romo was. Let's get your top paid quarterback another running game. Another running game. And I think there's a spot for Rico Dowdle here, but I would say you go in there and get you a show enough bona fide running back. I've been a diehard fan since Super Bowl 12. I think Dak is predictable, and it feels to me like his offense has lost hope in him. Cooper could bring some light, I hope. Well, Jessica, appreciate you. Think about this. But how can Dak be predictable and he's not calling the plays? Predictability isn't the quarterback. Because I'll show you, since you've been a fan for so long. I challenge anybody. Go back and watch the 92, 93, 94, 95 Cowboys. Tell me if they were predictable. Because I'm going to tell you they were. You know what the problem was? You couldn't stop them. Teams literally knew the Cowboys were going to run to the left, run to the right, run up the middle. They knew it. But they also knew something else. But we can't stop them. Look at some of the catches that Michael Irvin caught. Just look at them. The running game was so good. Troy Aikman, when it was time, ate off a play action. Who in the stadium didn't know he was going to Michael Irvin? Who didn't know? The problem is you couldn't stop him. Predictability isn't a problem per se. It's not a problem when you got super studs everywhere. But when you don't have the super studs everywhere, then that's where the coaching comes in and say, I know who we got, so let's call plays to the strengths of our players. And so when you talk about predictability, that's a coaching issue. That's a coaching issue. That's a lack of success issue. Frederick brought it up. He was like, they look limited. It's not that they're limited. The talent level is not where it once was. Talent matters. And so those plays that Mike McCarthy are calling, I said it before about the West Coast offense. That particular offense is designed for you to have CeeDee Lambs and Amari Coopers all the way across the line. Everybody's supposed to be good in that offense. The running back is supposed to be very good and very versatile. He's supposed to be able to catch, run, block the whole 9 yards. The tight end in that particular offense, he better be a bona fide catcher. Seam routes all day long. You look at what they're playing with, and the reason why these things are looking the way that they're looking is because Mike McCarthy is calling plays like he has super studs. You look at the team that Mike McCarthy went 10-6 with as a wild card team and went to the Super Bowl. Go back and look at that roster. James Jones is one of those people on that roster. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they got super studs on that team. They had super studs on that team. They got hot at the right moment. They rolled into the Super Bowl. So the problem is we have a combination of things that are going wrong and making us look worse than what we are. Manuel said Jerry need to call Emmitt Smith and pay him Lay's chips, pay him with Lay's chips, jumpstart the running game. I don't understand why they don't have these Cowboys in the building. I don't understand why they don't. I mean, I think they should really have some of these guys in the building. Of course, Mike is the reason. He wanted the play calling duties. He got it too, didn't he? This is the very reason why I'm telling y'all, Kellen Moore has got some problems with, he got some problems with Mike McCarthy. And he's going to try to get them frustrations out this week. Gee, we all know Mike's the reason. He set it up with the media first. Kellen was talking about the player in the option route. Yep. And you remember what Mike said? I just think the option routes are too difficult. That's what he said. The player, the wide receiver and the quarterback can't get on the same page. Mike squirreled his way to get that play calling. And if he going to get the play calling, what do you need Kellen Moore for? I bet you Kellen Moore remembers that. Lewis Bailey said, all I want for Christmas is to resign Mike McCarthy. Now, he here for the finish. Both Mike and Kelly are going after each other. Let the best man win. Man, Mike is going after Jerry with that last press conference, man. It's all going to work out. I think it is, too. And you know what? Like I said, if Jonathan Mingo works out, fantastic. Fantastic, man. I want this guy to work out. I want him to be successful because you know what? It would be good for Jerry to be right sometimes because it means it helps the team. Gee, I think he's going to listen to you because he don't want to let Kelly beat him. Hey, man. Hey, Kellen Moore is coming for Mike McCarthy's throat, bro. Kellen Moore going to come for Mike McCarthy's throat. Our saving grace would be that Mike doesn't want Kellen to get the better of him. That's what Carl's talking about. We may see all kinds of craziness. I'm going to tell you what's going to be crazy if they run that ball. Unleash Rico Dowdle on them, Angie. That's all you have to do. Everybody's talking about it. There's a crazy stat out there where they're talking about as it pertains to running backs. Mike McCarthy wanted Aaron Jones. If you look at the success rate of the runs between these two running backs, Rico Dowdle is exceeding Aaron Jones. So Mike McCarthy, what they're saying is you're crying about Aaron Jones. Rico Dowdle is doing better than Aaron Jones. If you would just run the ball, you got Aaron Jones. You can't run Rico Dowdle 12 times for 75 yards. Double that. Is it 150? Is it 120? Heck, it could be 170. Run the ball. You won't have to worry about Kellen Moore. What's going on, Angie? You won't have to worry about Kellen Moore. Your quarterback can't make every throw. You don't need your quarterback, Jesse. This is the problem with people who don't. You have to understand football. There is hardly any team that has a quarterback that can make every throw. Every throw? Every throw. There may be one quarterback right now, one, maybe two, that can make every throw. Patrick Mahomes, what is he doing this year? His team is 8-0. Patrick Mahomes is having an average year. What is he, 10 interceptions? Josh Allen can make every throw. What's going on with the Buffalo Bills? We talk too much with emotion. I got news for y'all about Troy Aikman. I absolutely love Troy Aikman. But Troy Aikman didn't have to make every throw. You know why? Because when you have a running game, stop trying to make the quarterback the reason. Why do you think the Trent Dilfers, the Joe Flaccos, why do you think those guys win Super Bowls? Even Andy Reid is catching on. Patrick Mahomes cannot continue at the rate he's been going. He can't. Father Time is undefeated. Your arm does not get stronger, sir. Your arm does not get stronger. What happens is your head gets smarter. Your head gets smarter. You learn to play with your head, your eyes, your experience. You learn to play with that. You don't have to make every throw. You just need to make the throws that they give you. Those are the throws that you have to make. And if you listen to what people talk about with Dak Prescott, I gave where they showed how Dak is in the top 10. And they talked about how cerebral Dak is. And they say sometimes because he's so cerebral, Dak is trying to do everything he sees. Dak is trying to do way too much. And that's why when you got a quarterback like that, you have to be so smart, rein him in. Guess what Andy Reid did to Patrick Mahomes? He reined him in. See, some of y'all don't understand. I saw Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. I saw him. He was nothing but a gunslinger. He was throwing for enormous yards, touchdowns. He was also throwing a lot of interceptions. There's a reason why he wasn't the number one drafted quarterback that year. There's a reason. Andy Reid scouted him, y'all. People don't understand. Andy Reid is a genius. He scouted Patrick Mahomes. And when he realized people were not getting Patrick Mahomes, GM, Patrick Mahomes still on the board. We got to go get him. You know what Andy Reid did? He sat him on the bench for a year. He put him behind a great tutor, Alex Smith. Nobody will give Alex Smith credit. He was just like Dak Prescott. People talked about Alex Smith like a dog, and he was a great quarterback with a terrible team for a while. Andy Reid got a hold of him. And Andy Reid almost took Alex Smith to the Super Bowl. Wasn't his fault the defense let him down. Alex Smith did everything he was supposed to do. They brought Patrick Mahomes in, set him behind Alex Smith, let him learn. Alex Smith, great human being, great player, taught him everything he knew, and he said it. I knew Patrick Mahomes was there to take my spot, so I wanted him to be great. How many quarterbacks do that? How many quarterbacks would say that? And that's why when Patrick Mahomes hits the field, he has experience now. He's been sitting, and what Andy Reid did, he reined him in, perfected him, and it helped that he had Tyreek Hill. He had Kelsey. He started building a defense around him. And look at what Andy Reid has done to Patrick Mahomes now. Patrick Mahomes is not beating people with the deep ball. Has anybody but me been paying attention? Y'all let me know in the comments. Has anybody else been paying attention? Patrick Mahomes is not beating teams anymore with deep balls. Patrick Mahomes is not even beating teams anymore with his arm. He's beating them with his head. Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback. And then I'm going to get back to Jerry Jones. Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is the smartest running quarterback in the league. I mean, last night, I think we saw the best running quarterback in the league is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson made a run down there, man. He ran all the way back and then ran that ball down to the 1 yard line. Lamar Jackson is the best running quarterback in the league. Josh Allen is the hardest to tackle running quarterback in the league because he's so freaking big. Josh Allen will literally run you over. Josh Allen is a seriously good runner of the football. But the smartest running quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes. He's beating people with his head. We got to stop talking. See, we talk too much with emotion. We're not talking football a lot of these times. Even when we're talking about Dak Prescott, we're not talking football. Dak Prescott, I promise all of us, Dak Prescott does not have an X's and O's problem. Dak Prescott has a Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy problem. You look at how when these mistakes that Dak Prescott is making. People say he's not reading the field. Yes, he is. The problem, he's ignoring what he's reading. Because Dak Prescott, all the talk has been that him and CeeDee Lamb are not on the same page. Y'all know what he's trying to do to a fault, and I wish he wouldn't do it. Dak Prescott has been trying to get on the same page with CeeDee Lamb. And he's throwing it to him when he's not open. He's throwing it to him. When CeeDee Lamb, if he sees he's covered really hard, he's not going to make the effort. This is what Dak Prescott is guilty of. He won't just throw it to the person that's open. And I hope when he watches what they're going to do with Cooper Rush, when they dumb this offense all the way down, and they're going to run the ball 40 times, and they're going to set Cooper Rush up for nothing but success with the play action pass, and he's going to pick and choose when Cooper Rush throws the ball, not 3 reads, not 4 reads. I don't want you to read Cooper Rush. I want you to go 1 read, 2, we got you. I hope Dak sees all that. And then they're going to dumb this game down again. And then they're going to gradually open it up as Dak Prescott gets back in this game. I hope that's what they do. Appreciate you, Mitch, for the super chat. Mitch says, so how do we feel as fans do us a big favor and fire yourself as GM and maybe I might win something? Let me tell you something. Mitch, Jerry said it himself. Tell me this isn't crazy. Jerry said, if I wasn't the owner and someone else was the GM and they performed like I have, Jerry said I would fire him. But then he says, but I can't fire myself. That's Jerry Jones in a nutshell. Jerry Jones. But you can fire yourself. All you have to do is take yourself off of the GM duties. What's so hard about that? What's so hard about that? That's ego, people. That's ego. And so I digress, but I'm telling us, when we're talking about Dak Prescott, anybody in the league will tell you, we don't have to worry about when we're talking about Dak Prescott. We don't have to talk about what's between the ears. We don't even have to talk about the ability. A lot of folk out there, these folk, they know what's going on with the Cowboys. The play calling is atrocious. Troy Aikman said it. You can say anything you want to, but Troy Aikman said it. The design, Dan Orlovsky said it. There are other people. They're looking at what the Cowboys are doing offensively, and it's absolutely antiquated. They have a play calling issue, and the talent isn't where it was. But if the play calling was better, I promise you the talent would look a lot better. And it bothers me that they're putting these players in that position. Fernie says, make creative plays. Yes. Can't just run up the gut. Yes. Toss it like they always do. Play action audible motions. There it is. They refuse to do that with Dak Prescott. They're going to do it with Cooper Rush. Limitations breed creativity. They know he's limited, Fernie. Now, at least I say they are. I mean, they might do something totally different, but they did it the last time. They dumbed the game down for Cooper Rush. Not because he's not smart, y'all. When I say dumb the game down, I'm not basing it between here. With Cooper Rush, you're limited by his ability. That's what you're limited by. And that's the very reason why, y'all, don't give me all this Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott. We're not going to have that conversation. That's the very reason why Cooper Rush has been a career backup. Because other teams can see while he may have it between the ears. He can probably make some throws, but his ability is limited. And a lot of teams don't want that limitation on a week by week by week basis. They don't want that. They don't want that. And so we're almost done with this interview. I want to get a few more in here before I get off of here because I want to get ready for our afternoon show. I'm going to probably do that at 6 o'clock. So I want to get out of here in the next 14 minutes. Let's see if we can get through the rest of this Jerry Jones interview. It's very entertaining. Jerry Jones on here letting loose he about to let loose all the secrets.
And on Monday night, the Kansas City Chiefs go to overtime. Tampa decides to kick the extra point to go to overtime. Last night, you have a great NFL game, and Cincinnati decided to go for 2, and they didn't get it, and they lost the game. I know, opponent, where you're playing at.
Yes.
Down Detroit. And so coin flip and basically have a team that may.
Now, the reason why I'm going to skip past this, they actually asked Jerry Jones, what did he think about the Cincinnati Bengals going for 2? What are you asking Jerry Jones for? Who is he supposed to be? He's not a coach. He's a GM/owner. What are you asking him for? I mean, I guess if you just want his general opinion, that's great. I just didn't think that was a question they should be asking him. But I'll give an answer, and then I'm going to skip to his next question. But I watched the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I watched, if I'm not mistaken, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers scores the touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, to tie the game up. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers decided to not go for 2. I would have went for 2. Y'all tell me what you think, but I'd have went for 2. And I actually had no problem with the Cincinnati Bengals going for 2. My problem was with the game last night is that the NFL has a problem. The NFL has a cheating problem because they are literally allowing referees to cheat teams out of games. There was clear pass interference on that 2-point conversion for the Cincinnati Bengals. You can't get around it. We saw the same thing with the Rams. Who was it? The Rams and the Vikings? Clear face mask in the end zone. They let the Rams get away with it and win the game. We saw last night, they were literally mauling Joe Burrow. We saw a face mask that didn't get called against Joe Burrow on that same drive. Then we get down there, and then we see a pass interference that is blatantly right there in the vision of both the back judge and the field, I guess the field judge, and they don't call it. Because it's the last play of the game? I don't have a problem with them going for the 2-point conversion. But you should be able to play a game and the referees make the right doggone play. Make the right call. They blatantly cheated the Cincinnati Bengals out of that game. That is the bigger question. What is the NFL going to do about this cheating? This league is too technologically advanced. Cameras all in everywhere, any and everywhere. Microphones any and everywhere. Cameras scanning all over the field on wires. The replays are even showing that these calls are incorrect. And then we're saying stupid stuff like, and it can't be reviewed. Why not? Why can't it be reviewed? If we're watching and we know it's cheating, what are we doing? That is literally crazy to me. Here it is. Here it is. Who is this? D'Alia. And I'm sure somebody is saying it. Betting is changing the NFL. It is. Betting is changing the NFL. It's changing the NFL. It is. It's a shame. But the NFL, this is why people need to understand, I have no problem with these players getting paid. It's a business. And they're making money hand over fist. And so for me, the players, you get all the money you can. You let them manage the salary cap. Hopefully you'll be on a team that can manage it. But the league is making money hand over fist. And that's why plays like last night are allowed. But again, I did not understand why they were asking Jerry Jones that question. So let me get you Let me get you to the point where I want to get to.
Very
Okay.
similar. Cooper's got some unique skills. Very
Okay.
similar.
Jerry, with Cooper Rush, what is
I could envision doing it at some time and not doing it at others.
Okay. This is the part right here. This stuff never ceases to amaze me. I just want you to listen to the question they're asking Jerry Jones and listen to his answer.
Jerry, with Cooper Rush, how do you expect the team to play differently, or do you expect them to be pretty similar with him at the quarterback position?
Similar. Very
Okay.
similar. Cooper's got some unique skills. Very unique skills. He is very quick. He makes very quick decisions. Gets the ball out quick. He's really got some qualities that can really get the job done for us. And I can say that, but not only how he handled it 2 years ago when he came in here, and but really took the role. I don't mind telling you, when Dak got hurt at that time, I really was down in the mouth, so to speak. But boy, did he step in there and really do a great job for us. But he brings a lot to the table. I think we can do everything with our repertoire of offense. I think we can run anything that Dak runs.
No. The sound is not broken. I had to go silent just for a moment. Jerry Jones said that they can do. Jerry Jones said they can do everything with Cooper Rush that they could do with Dak Prescott. We're going to learn today. And if we're not going to learn, we're going to learn today. Y'all got to answer me this. I keep asking the same question, and nobody can answer it. And by nobody answering it, I know what the answer is. Y'all help me out. If Cooper Rush can make every throw that Dak Prescott can make, every throw, y'all, if he can do everything Dak Prescott can do, if he's just as good as Dak Prescott, if he's all those things, can somebody explain to me why they paid Dak Prescott $60 million? $60 million a year. $231 million guaranteed. For all of you Dak Prescott haters, if you believe this, I don't know what else to tell you. Y'all think Jerry Jones believes this? The Bible says a tree is known by the fruit that it bears. I'm not listening to what's being said. I'm looking at the fruit. Why did they re-sign Dak Prescott? Why? Because honestly, if the backup is just as good as the starter, and I got the backup on a 2-year, $5 million deal, do y'all not understand? Cooper Rush makes less than Trey Lance. Why would I go and get a give up a 4th round draft pick for Trey Lance and bring him in and give him the opportunity. Skip over Cooper Rush. I skip over Cooper Rush. And I give Trey Lance the opportunity for the starting job. Do y'all know Trey Lance was not playing for Cooper Rush's job? Trey Lance was literally playing for Dak Prescott's job. That's what he was playing for. He was the bargaining chip. He's the reason why we wasted the entire preseason talking about Trey Lance. He was the bargaining chip for Jerry Jones against Dak Prescott. Meanwhile, hold on. And we have hidden on the bench Cooper Rush, who can make every throw. We can use our full repertoire with Cooper Rush. He not only, because you listen to what he said, he not only can make every throw, he can do the same things as Dak. He has some unique things. That means he got some things that he can do that Dak can't do. Why did you pay Dak $231 million? Nobody made you do that. And if I'm Cooper Rush, and I know I can do exactly what Dak can do, and I got some unique things of my own, I'm not signing a deal in 2023 for $5 million. I don't even think it's $5 million. It wasn't even guaranteed. Do y'all know Cooper Rush is on the last year of that deal? Trey Lance is making more than Cooper Rush. And we're telling me, Jerry Jones has fixed his mouth to say that Cooper Rush is just as good as Dak Prescott. If y'all believe that, I have a bridge in London to sell you. Because I'm going to take you even further. Y'all remember early in this conversation what Jerry Jones said, we pay people to scout out players that even after they're drafted, because of the grades we have on them, we are still looking and making sure they're still as good as they're supposed to be. We're still looking at all those things, y'all. And they said that Jonathan Mingo was still worth it. That's what they said. So y'all don't think other teams are always looking at other backup players on other teams? They're always scouting backup players on other teams. And now I'm really confused because Dak Prescott is, if Cooper Rush is as good as Dak Prescott, why hasn't any other team ever asked the Dallas Cowboys, we'll even give you the Trey Lance deal. Jerry, we'll give you a 4th round draft pick for Cooper Rush. Why haven't they done it? This isn't hate on Cooper Rush. Do y'all know Cooper Rush is what he is? He's a backup quarterback. I've listened to the owner. I've listened to the coach lie. Now I've listened to the owner lie. And for all of you Dak haters, there is something wrong with you if you believe that both of these men, are y'all ready? Mike McCarthy had the unmitigated gall to say that Cooper Rush was Rich Gannon. Go look at Rich Gannon's career. Just go look at it. If Cooper Rush was Rich Gannon, he not only would not be backing up Dak Prescott, he wouldn't be backing up anybody. Because Rich Gannon was a great quarterback in this league. He went to a Super Bowl. Go look at his accolades. Mike McCarthy is a liar. If Cooper Rush played like Rich Gannon, he'd be a starter. Jerry Jones is a flat-out liar. If Cooper Rush played like Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush would not be backing up Dak Prescott. He'd be a starter on some other team. And the reason why I know that is because do we not realize, I hate to keep reiterating the same point. You cannot negotiate a $231 million deal, 4 years guaranteed, unless I can literally go to that table and say, you're either going to give me $231 million, Jerry, or I have 5 other teams that's willing to give me $231 million. Folk don't understand football. They don't understand business of football. I can't demand anything unless there is a demand for me. Explain it, Dak Prescott haters. Explain it. Because the more you make up, the more you have to make up. Jerry Jones was looking for a reason not to give Dak Prescott $231 million. And his name was not Cooper Rush. His name was Trey Lance. This man's a bold-faced liar. Cooper Rush isn't even on this team. He isn't even on this team. If he is who Jerry Jones says he is. If he is who Mike McCarthy says he is. If he is what the Dak Prescott haters and the mythological unicorn Cooper Rush lovers, if he is who they say he is, why hasn't anybody offered a 4th round draft pick? We're not even talking about a 3rd. Not even a 2nd or a 1. They haven't even offered a 4th or a 5th or a 6th or a 7th. Heck, they haven't even offered an undrafted free agent for him. Why is he still on the team, y'all? Why is he still on the team? Jerry Jones gets on my nerves with this. Danny said Mike Fisher reported yesterday that Lincoln Riley has connections with the Dallas Cowboys. I hope he does. Lincoln Riley can do wonders with Dak Prescott. The offense is simplified with Rush, or he sees the open receivers quicker or better than Dak. No, it's simplified. They take away all the reads. They take away all the pre-snap reads. They take away all of the complicated stuff. And you boil it down to this, Delton. We're going to run the freaking ball. And I promise you, the reporter asked him yesterday, because the reporter even know it. He said, did you have to learn to teach yourself that you're not Dak Prescott? Why would he ask him that question, y'all? You should have saw the look on Cooper Rush's face. Because that reporter was basically saying, you're not as good as Dak Prescott. Mike Fisher has debunked this same thing I'm debunking. He says the same thing for all you Dak Prescott haters. Cooper Rush is not better nor equal to Dak Prescott, because if he is, it's not just Jerry Jones, y'all. We're not talking about the Dallas Cowboys anymore. Todd Francis has to go to Jerry and say, you either give Dak what he wants or we get it from this team, this team, this team, this team, and this team. And I promise you, every team that wanted Dak Prescott, they were not losers. I promise you there were some teams on that list that were saying, we're a quarterback away. If Dak Prescott hits that free agency market, we're going to change the whole draft. We're getting Dak Prescott. And Jerry Jones absolutely knew it. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. If you're selling your house for $5.5 million and your house ain't worth but $1 million, and the highest offer you have for your crib is $600,000, you think I'm giving you what you asking for your crib? I'm not even giving you what your house is worth. I'm going way below market value because you can't get nobody else to sell it. Y'all don't know football or business. If y'all believe what Jerry Jones just said, you don't know football or business. I'm not paying a quarterback $231 million, and I got a guy sitting on the bench that can do the exact same thing, can make every same throw, can read the defense, as someone just said, quicker. He can make quicker throws. He's got unique. Well, I'm going with him. Surely he don't think he going from 5 years for $5 million for 2 years to $60 million for 4? I could get him for a discount. Man, I'll give you 40 for 4. You better miss me. I'm not taking you from no doggone $2.5 million a season. I'm not even taking you to $20 million. I wish I would. You think I'm not going to take the opportunity? Watch this, Dak haters. You think I'm not going to take the opportunity to get Cooper Rush, even if I can fool him into? Tell you what, Cooper Rush, we're going to let Dak Prescott walk. We'll give you $10 million for 1 year. And now you've given us the opportunity to get from up under Dak Prescott's contract. And now we'll put players around you. We'll give you 2 years. We'll give you 2 for 20. You get us to the NFC Championship game. Then we'll give you a huge contract. Why didn't they do it, y'all? Why didn't they do it? Why? Dak Prescott got a photo with Jerry Jones and some monkeys? Why didn't they do it? Did he come in with a hostage situation and say you either do it or else? What did he do? Oh, I know what he did. He only won 12 games 3 seasons in a row. He only had more wins than every quarterback in the league, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes over the last 3 years. He's only been top 5 in almost every single category over the last 3 seasons. He's only done that. He had an MVP caliber season last year that they cheated him out of. He was second team All-Pro last year. He went to the Pro Bowl. He only did all of those things being below average. Strange to me. We can't find another below average quarterback that's ever done it. We can't find anybody else that's ever done it. Dak Prescott's the only average quarterback that is above average that everybody says is below average, got a $231 million deal, and someone says he didn't deserve it, he didn't do anything to get it, and by the way, the backup is better, but the backup has been the backup for the last 8 seasons, and nobody else want him. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. To hear Jerry Jones say that, I know you're trying to build another man's confidence. But I got news for y'all. Not even Cooper Rush believes that. Cooper Rush doesn't believe that. Because Cooper Rush, if he believed it, you know what he'd be asking? The same thing we would be asking if we know we're better than everybody in our field. We would be asking the same thing if we're better than everybody in our field. We're better than the person above us. We're better than the person that's left and the right and upside down of us. You know what we'd be asking? Why am I still in the same position? Appreciate you, Danny. I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. And neither is Cooper Rush. And hatred will make you dumb. Hatred will make you see things that are not true. And the truth of the matter, whether anyone likes it or not, Dak Prescott is a bona fide top 5 quarterback, whether anyone likes it or not. And if you think that Patrick Mahomes could come to Dallas in its current iteration, if you think Patrick Mahomes could come to Dallas in its current iteration and could take this team to the Super Bowl, I'm going to refer you back to Texas Tech. I'm going to refer you back to Texas Tech and ask Patrick Mahomes, would he trade his situation with anyone in the league? No, Rob. I'm going to tell you something that's even more profound. I talk facts. And you can't dispute anything I'm saying because I'm talking facts. Tell me that Dak Prescott didn't win 12 games the last 3 seasons in a row. Can you tell me he didn't win them? Can you tell me, Rob, do you have to be a Dak Prescott fan? Can you tell me, Rob, did he win? Was he runner-up for MVP last year, Rob? See, I'll challenge people with facts. I don't need opinions. Did he make second team All-Pro last season, Rob? Can you tell me? Is that facts? Y'all tell me. Am I talking facts? Or do I like Dak Prescott? Two things can be true. I can like Cooper Rush. I do. But if I tell you Cooper Rush is an MVP quarterback, am I telling the truth or a lie? Help me out. Which one is it? Am I a Cooper Rush fan or am I speaking facts? Help me out, Rob. Anybody else? Can you tell me? Did I say something that wasn't true? Am I lying when I say that Dak Prescott has been a top 5 ranked quarterback when you look at the statistics the last 3 years? Am I lying or am I a Dak fan? Can they both be the same? Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Dak fan, Rob, I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on your facts. Because if Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott, is he better than Dak Prescott? So let's speak facts again, Rob. I'm still waiting on you. Has Cooper Rush been a career backup? Has he been a career backup? Because Mike McCarthy said he was Rich Gannon. But I don't remember Rich Gannon being a career backup. I remember seeing Rich Gannon in AFC championship games. I remember seeing Rich Gannon in the Super Bowl. I remember Rich Gannon 2-time Pro Bowls. I remember Rich Gannon dominating this league. I remember Rich Gannon. Am I a Rich Gannon fan? Am I a Rich Gannon fan, Rob? Or am I speaking facts? Tell me which one I'm doing. They both can be true. Tell me when Cooper Rush has ever come close to Rich Gannon. Mike McCarthy? Jerry Jones, you got to explain to us. Why would you spend $231 million? Okay, Rob. Okay. Tell me Dak didn't choke in the last 3 playoff games. So tell me this, Rob. Why didn't they replace him with Cooper Rush? And I'm not going to give you the Packers game because the Packers straight up smashed the Dallas Cowboys, Rob. See, you obviously didn't watch the game. Stephon Gilmore said it. Dan Quinn threw the game. No defensive coordinator changes up their defense in the playoffs. Nobody does it, Rob. Nobody does it. San Francisco 49er game. So, Rob, you think you're talking facts. So, Rob, do you think it's a problem? So you think that if a quarterback throws an interception in the playoffs, you call that choking? Is that what you call choking, Rob? So let me give you a little quiz, Rob, because I know you don't know football. So can you tell me how many interceptions last year that Patrick Mahomes threw in the Super Bowl? Can you tell me, Rob? Because I'm going to show you something about the Packers game that you don't understand what you're talking about, Rob. Because the last time I checked, Dak Prescott didn't play defense. Can you tell me why the Dallas Cowboys couldn't stop the run nor run the ball? Is that Dak Prescott? Help me out, Rob. Is that Dak Prescott? Because I'm gonna still speak facts again. So if Dak Prescott is that bad, why didn't they bring in Cooper Rush? I mean, we got the guy on the bench that can do everything that everything that Dak Prescott can do. Why didn't we bring him in? Why didn't we bring him in, y'all? Y'all tell me how many interceptions did Patrick Mahomes throw in the playoffs? How many interceptions has Patrick Mahomes thrown this year? Why is it that Patrick Mahomes all of a sudden is winning games and he's actually not the hero of the team or the game? How is he doing it? Could it be that Andy Reid said we need to put a running game around Patrick Mahomes? Could it be that Andy Reid said we need to put a defense around Patrick Mahomes? Could it be that Andy Reid said we can't continue at this pace and we need to get a team around Patrick Mahomes because nobody is going to continue to get better at their skills? They're going to only get better in the mind. Could that be what we're talking about? Did anybody notice a trend with all the playoff teams that won last year, minus the Dallas Cowboys who lost? They all could do two things. They could all run the ball and they could all stop the run. And the ones who could run the ball the best and the one who could stop the run the best, they went on to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. When I hear Jerry Jones say something this silly, I wish Dak Prescott would have got $321 million over 4 years. To put up with this kind of nonsense from a fan base, Dak ain't getting paid enough. When everyone else fails, it's an excuse. When the team fails, it's all Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott isn't getting paid enough. Let Dak Prescott make all the money. I'll ask you again, K. Robinson. Does Patrick Mahomes throw interceptions in big games? Does he? I love your question. Dak doesn't look like trash in big games. I don't agree with you. Because my problem is with us is that we think that it's only Dak Prescott, because you have to tell me, and I'm going to speak facts. I give Dak Prescott the blame in the first San Francisco playoff loss, because Dak Prescott did throw an ill-advised interception when the Dallas Cowboys were driving down for a touchdown. Yes, that game was on Dak Prescott. But if we look back at the second game against the San Francisco 49ers, when Dak Prescott threw that interception at the half, that's not what ended the game. That was at the half. What ended that game was when Tony Pollard got hurt, and then the Dallas Cowboys became one-dimensional. And after that, the game was pretty much over. I'm not giving anybody the Packers game, because the Dallas Cowboys absolutely got smashed in that game. That defense didn't stop one drive in that game. Not one drive. There is nothing no quarterback could have done with that. You can't stop the run. You can't run the ball. That's the facts. And every team that has played the Dallas Cowboys since that Green Bay game, they all got the formula for beating the Dallas Cowboys. They can't run the ball and they can't stop the run. And I'm going to beat you every single time. I don't care what team you are. If you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run, I'm going to beat you every single time. I don't care if you put Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady in the game at the same time. I'm going to beat you every single game. And that's why Andy Reid, I give him all the credit in the world. He's the best coach in football. Because Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in football right now. He's not the best quarterback in football right now. But you know what he's playing on? Patrick Mahomes is playing on the best team in football right now. He's got the best defense. He's a top 5 defense. He has a top-rated running game. And people discount the fact that Andy Reid has something that Dak Prescott has never had, and it counts. Something that Troy Aikman had that Dak Prescott nor Tony Romo ever had. And I don't know about Tony Romo, but Dak Prescott has never had. Roger Staubach had something that Dak Prescott has never had. Y'all tell me the coach. Tell me the coach that Roger Staubach had. Y'all tell me. Tell me the coach. See, we don't think this matters, but it does. Everything matters. Delton, you said it right. Dak is a product of iffy coaching. Folks who don't know football, this is why they talk like Rob and K. Robinson. You cannot dispute me on the facts. Because if everything you're saying is true, why did Jerry Jones re-sign Dak Prescott? Why did he? Why did he re-sign him? He's got Cooper Rush on the bench. And Cooper Rush is just as good as Dak Prescott. Why did he re-sign him? See, Niecy, we talk facts. Roger Staubach had who? Niecy said it. He had Tom Landry, Hall of Fame coach. Y'all help me out. Who did Troy Aikman have? Who Troy Aikman have, y'all? Who did Troy Aikman have? K. Robinson, I'm gonna destroy you again. Dak had prime Zeke and a good O-line, and guess who beat him? Can you tell me who beat Dak Prescott in his rookie year in the playoffs? Can you tell me who beat him? Because I'm gonna destroy your argument. Tell me. Tell me who beat him. Tell me who beat Dak Prescott. Tell me who beat him, because I'm going to destroy your whole argument again. I'm going to explode your argument, because I know you in here talking with your emotions. You don't know football. I'm going to destroy your argument. Tell me who beat Dak Prescott in that rookie season. Tell me who beat him. I'm going to destroy your argument. Y'all tell me who Troy Aikman had as a coach. Help me. Andre, is Jimmy Johnson in the Hall of Fame? Did Jimmy Johnson not just build the arguably best Dallas Cowboy team ever in existence? Did he not do that? Did he not do that? I'll even give Tony Romo something that Dak Prescott didn't have. And I'm not going to blame this particular coach. Do y'all know Tony Romo had Bill Parcells? Super Bowl winning coach. The only problem with Bill Parcells is that Jerry Jones handicapped him and he couldn't do the moves he wanted to do. He couldn't do all the things he wanted to do, and so Bill Parcells gave up. So let's think about the coaches that one Rain Dakota Prescott has had. Y'all tell me the Hall of Fame coach that Dak Prescott has had. So Dak Prescott had Jason Garrett. Y'all tell me what Jason Garrett is right now. Tell me what Jason Garrett is. Tell me. Tell me that Jason Garrett has now went on to greener pastures and Jason Garrett is now coaching a Super Bowl team. Because last time I checked, Jason Garrett was coaching the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, hold on a second. Did I just say a lie? Y'all tell me what Jason Garrett is right now. Where is he, y'all? Is Jason Garrett coaching football? I wonder why Jason Garrett was so great. Why is Jason Garrett in the broadcast booth? Because I promise you, they will pay you more money as a coach if you're that good than in the broadcast booth. I promise you they'll pay you $20 million a year to be a coach if you're that good. And so what do we follow up, Dak? What do we follow up Jason Garrett with? We follow up Jason Garrett with Mike McCarthy, who got ran out of Green Bay. Blame Jerry Jones all you want to, but Mike McCarthy got ran out of Green Bay for the very reason everybody wants him out of Dallas. He refused to run the ball, and he had running backs. He refused to run the ball. And Aaron Rodgers was tired of his lackadaisical, terrible, vanilla play calling. Am I speaking truth? I'm like Blade K. Robinson. You think I'm not going to get back to you on that Packers thing? You think I'm not going to get back to you on the Green Bay Packer thing? See, in Dak's rookie season, if you go back and just listen to what Aaron Rodgers said. See, Aaron Rodgers, he was able to overcome Mike McCarthy. It wasn't Mike McCarthy the reason why that they beat the Dallas Cowboys. Because in actuality, the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott, after falling behind, Dak Prescott led the Dallas Cowboys all the way back to the lead. But they made one mistake. Because Jason Garrett got so anxious. I can remember it like yesterday. Dak Prescott got down there near the goal line. Dak Prescott looked over at Jason Garrett. What do you want me to do? Jason Garrett panicked and said, time out. You know what Jason Garrett should have did? He never should have called timeout. You know why? Because we got Ezekiel Elliott, and it's prime Ezekiel Elliott. No one's stopping him at the goal line. Don't call timeout. Let the time run out. Make them call timeouts. Let the time run down. We're right here near the goal line. We're going to take our time, and Zeke is going to run this ball in the end zone. We're going to run it 3-4 straight times, and we're going to win the game, and we're going on to the NFC Championship game. But what did we do? We quickly scored, and the Green Bay Packers, watch this. I'm going to destroy your argument, Kay. Go back and listen to Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCarthy called the play. Aaron Rodgers said we threw that play in the trash. Aaron Rodgers made his own play up, y'all, in the huddle. He said it. We made our own play up. We didn't like the play that Mike McCarthy called. We made our own play up. And Aaron Rodgers goes on to throw the most unbelievable pass down the sideline, tight end, catches it out of bounds, kneeling down, some kind of way, still gets his toes in bounds, catches it, puts him in field goal. Crosby kicks a field goal, goes outside, curves inside, ball game. You don't know football. You're speaking with your emotions. Dak Prescott, had he not ran into prime Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott is in the NFC Championship game in his rookie season. Second San Francisco game, can't deny it. Dak Prescott threw a terrible interception. Driving the ball down the field, about to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Terrible pass. Intercepted on Dak. I don't know any other way to slice it. Bad play call or not, Dak shouldn't have threw the ball. San Francisco game, there's no chance. When Tony Pollard went out of that game, there was absolutely no chance. The Dallas Cowboys became one-dimensional when Tony Pollard broke his leg on that tackle, to why they have changed the rules in the league with that stupid drop tackle, broke Tony Pollard's leg, and it's the ball game. And might I remind you, because I know you don't know football, K. Robinson, I know you don't know football by the way you're talking, you and Rob, the Dallas Cowboys only ran up against the NFC team that's literally been, if I'm not mistaken, they've been in 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls of the NFC. The San Francisco 49ers have not just dominated the Dallas Cowboys. They've dominated everybody in the NFC. Do you know football? It's not just Dak Prescott that the San Francisco 49ers have been taking down. Nope. San Francisco has been taking down everybody. Everybody. They've been taking them down one at a time. See, sometimes you got to understand, you can't. See, football is one of these things that sometimes you don't understand. You can absolutely be great, but you run into a greater force. And this is how I know when people are watching Dak Prescott, they don't understand football. Dak Prescott has been unfortunate because he's ran into some greater forces. They didn't lose that Green Bay game on a Dak Prescott interception. They didn't lose that Green Bay game on a bad Dak Prescott play. They lost that Green Bay Packer game on a great play by Aaron bleeping Rodgers. A great play by a tight end. A great kick by Crosby. A great play call, not by Mike McCarthy, a great play call by the Green Bay Packers. You look at the Los Angeles Rams lost. Go back and look at that game. Everyone was talking about it. The only person that showed up to play that day was Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott almost bought them back against the Rams. That Rams team, if I'm not mistaken, that Rams team went on to win the Super Bowl. That Rams team did it to everybody that year. Sometimes you run into forces that are just greater than you. I already showed people this. I just don't know if Peyton Manning would have made it in this league. Not in this social media league. I don't know if Peyton Manning would have made it, because Peyton Manning didn't win any Super Bowls, was getting bounced out the playoffs, round 1, in his first 9 seasons. And if we don't see the totality of Peyton Manning's career, do we really say that Peyton Manning is really Peyton Manning? And even his last Super Bowl was a facade. They carried that man on a stretcher. They carried that man on a stretcher in that Super Bowl. But we're dumb when it comes to Dak Prescott. He's the only quarterback that gets this treatment. He's the only one. Everybody else, they get every excuse to lose. Well, I'm asking you, DA. See, you don't know football. Can you go back and tell me how many times that Peyton Manning get beat in the playoffs in his first 9 seasons? Can you tell me that? Because I've already showed it on this channel. You're wasting your time, bro. No, actually, you're not spitting facts. You're telling me your opinion. I'm giving you the facts of how the games were lost. You're just spewing out what you want us to know. I'm destroying you with facts. Dak Prescott didn't lose that Green Bay game. He lost the second San Francisco game. The third San Francisco game, after that Pollard injury, it was over. And that defense absolutely dominated the Dallas Cowboys. It is what it is. It wasn't the Dallas Cowboys they only dominated. Did they not go to the Super Bowl that year? Is it only the Dallas Cowboys? Is it only Dak Prescott that gets the treatment that he lost the game? Well, who lost the other games? Because they had to beat somebody else to get into the Super Bowl. Well, who lost that part of the game? Who was the quarterback that lost to the San Francisco 49ers when they got to the Super Bowl? Who was that? I mean, I'm telling you how biased we are. Jackie Smith. They find an excuse because his name is Lamar and not Dak. So sad people claim to be the fans and trash the quarterback of the team. Isn't it amazing, Nisi? Lamar Jackson, who's way more talented than Dak Prescott, way better than Dak Prescott. Isn't it amazing, Nisi? Lamar Jackson has the same playoff record as Dak Prescott. But no one would dare say Lamar Jackson is trash. Nisi, isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? Nisi, I know you know this. How did the Baltimore Ravens lose the game last year? How did the Baltimore Ravens lose the game, y'all? Anybody watch the game? I watched the game. Anybody else watch it? How did the Baltimore Ravens lose that game? Did the running back fumble the ball? It was picked up and ran back by the other team? Did Lamar Jackson give a fourth quarter drive? Did he give a fourth quarter drive at the last 2 minutes and he walks off the field and they are ahead in the game and Lamar Jackson was on the sideline like Dak Prescott was in the Green Bay game? What was Lamar Jackson on the sidelines and they lost the game? Y'all help me out. These folks got me on here way longer than I want to be on here. Y'all help me out, y'all. How did the Baltimore Ravens lose that playoff game? How'd they lose? Because now we get into excuse mode. Now we get into excuse mode because it's Rain Dakota Prescott. It's amazing, K. Robinson. Peyton Manning was a much better quarterback than Dak. Did you answer my question? How many playoffs games did he win in his first 9 seasons? Help me out. How many Super Bowls did he win in his first 9 seasons? Just help me out. Matter of fact, see, because you're new here and you're not used to people talking facts, I've already showed Dak Prescott's stats compared to Peyton Manning's in the first 8 seasons. And Dak Prescott with less games. And their stats look almost identical. And Peyton Manning had better coaching. He had Hall of Famers around him. He had way more things than Dak Prescott had. Edgerrin James, anybody? Harris, anybody? Hall of Famers around him, Kay. You don't know football. You're in here crying because you hate a certain quarterback, but you're not answering the questions. You can tell me Peyton Manning was better. I'm not even going to argue with you. I'm just going to tell you what the stats say. I'm just going to tell you what even Peyton Manning said, who you said is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. He said that Dak Prescott is absolutely cerebral. Okay, Rob D, we'll go somewhere else. Nobody's asking you to stay here. You can go somewhere with somebody know football. I'm laughing. I mean, who asked you to stay here? If I don't know football, see you later. I'm pretty sure You can find somebody smarter than me. I'm just stating facts. It's amazing to me how people like you. What's Lamar Jackson's excuse? Is he a better quarterback than Dak Prescott? Because people will tell you that he is. But I find it to be strange because we don't want to answer the question. But I know exactly. I know exactly how they lost that game last year against, I can't remember who was it they lost against last year. I thought it was Kansas City. Lamar Jackson threw an interception in the end zone that cost them the game. But you know, it's actually funny. One thing I'll say about Lamar Jackson is not like Dak Prescott because he won't put up with people talking bad about him even when he make a bad play. Even when he make a bad play, Lamar Jackson not going to put up with it. He won't let people talk bad about him when he make a bad play. Can't see what this says because one of those MVT belongs to Dak. Not quite understanding what that means, but it's funny to me. And let me read this super chat. I appreciate you, Mitch, with the super chat. Mitch says, Dak got robbed last year.